What's going on? What's going on? All right, all right. You know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6, and we are live and direct, live in effect again. You like my shirt? Just picked it up. This is the Cobra Kai Dojo from the Karate Kid back in the day. You know, y'all are familiar with that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here. We are here. We are here. Man, we got some stuff to talk about today. Oh my gosh. We got a lot to talk about today. Absolutely. How y'all been, man? How's your weekend been? How's everything been for everybody? What's going on? See, we got here in the chat. Joe Lander, you're the first. What's up? Good to see you here, man. Castucciano, elevator music. Nah, not even though. It's not even. These is actually classics. Y'all just don't know where they from. What up, consultant? Good to see you in here, man. Absolutely. Yeah, Alex in here. Yep. Okay. 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 Yes. 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 Indeed. I know the temperatures, man. It did some crazy stuff. It was just, I want to say Friday. It was like 80 degrees. It was the kind of hot that you leave your windows up in your car, man. You open that door, it's gonna, you gonna get a backdraft to your face with all that heat. Nah, man, this is leave your windows cracked about this much weather. That way, when you get in, you ain't dying of a heat stroke. But yeah, it's the temperature, man. Oh my gosh, it's very fickle right now. You know, it's very fickle. You got one day it'll be 80 degrees, and then just today it was like low 50s, high 40s, and windy too. So it felt like it was colder than that. East Coast weather ain't no joke. How's everything everywhere else around the country, man? I know we got different people checking in from different spots. The East Coast is probably going to be pretty much all the same. Skies is pretty much clear for the most part. Anyone watch the short documentary? Watch the water. No, I didn't. No, I ain't see that. Absolutely not. I ain't watched that. Links Inkwell, good to see you here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Goddess alumni, thank you for tuning in. Man, the weather's been real fickle. I mean, I'm very familiar with the fact that in a lot of different situations with weather on the East Coast, spring, like early spring and late winter and early fall and late summer are almost indistinguishable because like one day it'll just literally be hot as fuck. Like you'll be wearing shorts, short sleeves, and then the next day you'll be back wearing a hoodie and a jacket with a wool cap on again. It's very interesting the way this weather's acting, but it's not anything new. What's good with you, Dan? Good to have you in, man. Good to have you in. Yes, sir. So I did a little impromptu video coming back from the city yesterday. I was giving y'all some words of wisdom. We discussed finding your tribe and how important that is, man. And I have to go as far as to say, when you find your tribe, that's gonna allow you to be yourself as much as you can possibly be, without you having to try to act like you gotta fit in with some other group because you're never gonna be truly happy if you don't. And I mean, pretty much everyone in here can attest to that. But yeah, finding your tribe is crucial, man. You gotta know, where your people are. And when you're among like-minded people, there's nothing like that. It's just one of those things you should never take for granted either. Because you got some people they'll have a tribe, but they'll feel like they're confined or something. Not to say you shouldn't venture out to meet different types of people, just to know a clear understanding of different how different people think. I know some of us are introverts. Some of us are a balance between both, and some of us are extroverts. But I still think it's very important to be able to intermingle with different people to see a different point of view, man. Because just that thought process within itself is priceless. All right, let's get into some of what we got to talk about today, man. So we talked about this last week, and I'm gonna give you straight from the horse's mouth because that's the theme of today's video is straight from the horse's mouth. So we're gonna be looking directly at the source of some of the stuff we were talking about, and this is gonna be one of them right here. So I told y'all, I'm pretty sure this has been circulating all over Instagram, all over Facebook, and all over those other channels. But take a look at this right here. We talked about this. DuckDuckGo CEO Gabriel Weinberg has announced that the search engine will begin purging out all independent media outlets from the platform and will replace them with quote unquote trusted mainstream media outlets instead. And when they say trusted, the word trust can be like something uh, determined to be believing in like the credibility of something, or it can be trusted as in a trust that's set up with a conglomerate of different businesses underneath it, which is a play on words. And for those who don't know what it actually says or what they mean, it can throw you way off center. So this is why we don't fuck with DuckDuckGo anymore for this very purpose. DuckDuckGo was like my man Shane Bob's Truth said here. DuckDuckGo was supposed to be an alternative search engine to Google. Instead, they're doing the exact same thing Google is doing by censoring independent media. So whenever you see people start making moves like this, they've been co-opted, man. They got handed a huge pile of money underneath the table, probably, whatever trust indenture they got involved with Google of some sort. They probably got a giant piece of money under the table, and now they even fell in line. You know how that goes, man. You know what I mean? They got a large check, a negotiable instrument, and whatever debt was caused was discharged. So as a result, they fell in line, man. Anybody who is paying attention to this, you'll notice when stuff like this happens. Because if you looked on Google's search engine and then looked on DuckDuckGo's right back to back, they come up with the same results now. Back in the day, like if you literally put something in DuckDuckGo, it'll give you a completely different, like first 10 pages will be completely different from Google. And I didn't check. And things change now, but yeah, DuckDuckGo is out. That's out. So if you got DuckDuckGo, fall back on that. I would recommend you guys going ahead and getting Brave. Brave is a search engine that's completely private, like DuckDuckGo was at one point. It's pretty much not using the mainstream avenue. But yeah, I would recommend dropping DuckDuckGo because reasons that we just read. So yep, your search should be private. You know what I mean? Anything you search should basically be pretty much private between you and your phone or what have you. So like very important to make sure that we comprehend that some of these places will be co-opted and not to use one of them as a crutch. It's just like that. It can be yanked from underneath you. But there's always going to be other ones, though. That's the thing about it. Now, Brave is not going to be as technologically advanced and easy to use as DuckDuckGo is, because it's smaller and it's not as known. But I will say this though: if enough people start supporting it, it'll get more easy to use because they'll update. You know how that goes. Update the product. Naraya, good to see you in here. Peace, peace, peace. General White, yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Villain Von Doom, I'm loving that avatar, man. And Moon Knight. Yo, listen, if y'all haven't watched Moon Knight, please do, yo. Please start watching Moon Knight. A lot of them ancient Egyptian things we talk about, the spirits and stuff like that, Moon Knight touches on that. Because the dude Moon Knight has his powers rooted in ancient Egyptian mythology or what is it? Egyptology rather, not mythology. Egyptology. So a lot of those inscriptions and pyramid things, like stuff like that on there, man, it's spells and all that, yo. It's pretty dope. Please check it out, man. There's also an aspect of public versus private on there too. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but I want you guys to actually, if you can, go ahead and start watching Moon Knight and see exactly what's going on. Because in order for us to be abreast of what's happening, we have to keep an eye on what's going on. You know what I mean? So can't shut yourself off completely. What's good, Addy? How you doing? My man Tony, what up? What up? What up? Monica, good to see you here. Good to see you here. What are antitrust laws? You trying to go into it? That's a whole different. Hey, we gotta talk about that some other time. I can't even get in there today. We got too much to talk about. What's up, Prof? Good to see you here. Yeah, it's called Brave, as a matter of fact. Hold on. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna show you. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna try to pull it up here because I actually downloaded this like a month ago. But yeah, when I heard DuckDuckGo was co-opted, man, that was like, all right, bet. On to the next one. Yeah, Brave private web browser. So it'll look like this. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Do it the easy way. I'm over here doing shit the hard way. Hold on a sec. All right, here you go. I'm gonna show you. It's got like a little lion as the avatar. So let me show you what it looks like. That way, when you're searching through the market, you don't download the wrong thing. So this right here is what a few other nationals as well as I'm using Brave. So yeah, this is pretty much it. And this blocks invasive ads and trackers. The same thing DuckDuckGo did, which is why we're also attracted to it. You can actually see it blocking stuff. Shows you how many trackers were blocked, loads content sites and games faster, Chromium based. All your Chrome extensions work. So there you have it. So yeah, I would look into that. If not, you can find another one. If you don't want to use that one, that's fine. But yes, Brave has been is the one. What was the name of that search engine again? We just covered that. Yep. What up, Meech? Good to see you, man. Left hand and right hand. What do you think about R. Kelly maybe getting out according to the Supreme Court case issuing invalid evidence from the three women using three different incidents that didn't add up? Man, listen, yo, like when it comes to celebrities and stuff like that, none of that shit is real. I've been trying to get y'all to get that through your heads. When it comes to celebrities and court and all that stuff, and the Kyle Rittenhouse trials, none of that shit is real. And all that. Like, when is the last time? Again, the funny thing about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial was there was a freaking camera inside the courthouse. They don't even let cameras inside the courthouse in regular hearings. It don't happen. That should have been a dead sign right there. Like, it's the same thing as when you watch Judge Judy or any of that. None of that shit is real, man. So it's Hollywood, But yeah, it's when it comes to stuff like that, I'm not surprised about anything because a lot of it is fake. So now I don't bother with it. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he got out. But that's what it is. All right, let's move on, shall we? Where should we go next? We're gonna save that for later. All right, so I actually saw this on Instagram too. I wanted you guys to take a look at this right here.
Send this video to anyone who thinks
You know what? I'm gonna probably have to not show you guys this because there's music behind this. Yeah, this guy's he puts a lot of music behind his videos, and I'm not trying to get a copyright strike, so I'm gonna have to fall back on that one. If y'all want to look at that video though, hold on. It's on Shane Vibes Truth channel. It's on Instagram, SHAYNEVIBES_truth. They've been really hard about those whole copyright strikes and all that stuff. So gonna have to skip that one for the day. Let's see. But I got another one. Hold on a second. Yeah. Some of these videos is like they real hard about the copyright, so I gotta weed through some of these. All right, let's get on to it. On to the next one. On to the next one. Now I don't know if this is true right here, but take a look at this. I don't know what real raw news is and such, but somebody sent me this and they were saying that what asked me what I thought, and I'm presenting it to you guys to ask you guys what you think. So we talked about how there's supposed to be like a white hat sting operation or something like that happening with a lot of the election results that were clearly fraudulent, and there was a lot of you know, what's the word I'm searching for? Mysteriousness behind the election. But even the things with the mask mandates and the public you know, the public servants running amok, we'll put it that way. But apparently special forces arrest deep state Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now again, we don't know how true this is. This could just be somebody putting something online for shock value, or it could just be misinformation. But I thought I would present it to you guys and ask you for your opinion. So it says U.S. Special Forces on Saturday scored a major victory in a war against the deep state. The arrest against the deep state mastermind and pandemic architect Dr. Anthony Fauci, a JAG source, told Real Raw News. The white hat, there it is, that word again, white hat, partition of the U.S. military said had for a very long time attempted to shadow Fauci, but often lost his scent because of the deep state doctor used every trick in the book to delay his inevitable capture. When in public, Fauci was well protected and often surrounded by at least a dozen armed guards and civilians who would have been caught in the crossfire if the military grabbed them in the open. And when traveling to and from events, Fauci used decoy vehicles to reduce the risk of being captured. My man did a Dick Dastardly. Like, my man was using fake vehicles that look just like his. What the hell? The decoy vehicles, our source said, it often had Fauci lookalikes and even mannequins that someone had built and planted to resemble them. My man did the Sub-Zero trick. Like, you know how Sub-Zero created the clone, and when you go to get the clone, like you actually get frozen. My man Fauci, he was trying to do some shit like that. On Saturday afternoon, however, the military caught a break. We got very good intel that Fauci on Saturday had minimum protection, 2 guards, and was leaving his DC house for a visit with his wife, who he hadn't seen in months. The deep state kept them separated because they thought we target her to Fauci, to get to Fauci rather. We've known all along where they hit her, and we were hoping for just a stroke of luck, our source said. Fauci's wife, Christine Grady, had been staying at the Ivy Hotel in Baltimore, Maryland under an assumed name. Now, we also talked about the assumed name thing. Like a lot of times when you see these public servants and these actors and stuff like that, they're using assumed names. And what that basically means, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, the name that you think is actually their birth name is not. Like a lot of people thought Tupac Shakur's birth name was Tupac Shakur, which it was not. His name was not Tupac Shakur. And, it might have been all on his passport and all that stuff, but, that's a DBA, doing business as name. And I go as far as to say, man, a lot of these actors and stuff like that die, like, you might see like the rapper or something like that, or the actor or the role that's being portrayed die, like the character, rather, is what I'm saying. Tupac might have died, but the actual man who played Tupac is probably not. As a matter of fact, there's a guy named Akil the MC that a lot of people suspect is Tupac. Yeah, we'll talk about that at a later point if you want to go deeper into that. I actually have I was looking at some videos the other day about that. It was very interesting, but the dude's dope. He's part of Jurassic 5, I believe, 90s hip hop group. And Jurassic 5, he actually ended up hitting the scene later on after Pac died, which was very interesting. I used to listen to Sway and Tech Wake Up Show freestyles, man. I tell you, they had a lot of talented dudes on there, and one of the groups that was on there was Jurassic 5. So yeah, some of those dudes are pretty dope. But yeah, they said that it's a play on words. Kill the MC, basically, I kill the MC. It's very cerebral how a lot of this stuff is done, but that just goes for the assumed name things, actors and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. Special forces and civilian vehicles discreetly tailed Fauci's car to an underground parking garage near the motel and made their move. They boxed him in, drew weapons, and ordered Fauci's guards to toss their weapons out the window. Fauci's security complied. The special forces dragged Fauci from the vehicle, subdued him, and carted him off for processing. Now, this is true against crimes against humanity. That dude's not in a regular jail. That dude's in Guantanamo Bay. And Guantanamo Bay is actually put there for corrupt politicians. They were saying that's why Obama wanted to shut down Guantanamo Bay while he was in office. I actually heard somebody had told me that, but I don't know how true that is though. Naraya says Beck gotta check that out. Was reading that redemption manual earlier. Thanks to me. Yes, sir. Good reading, man. Good reading. Drop a link. That's the link. I have it myself. It's in the app stores. Yes, sir. Hollywood has so many people food. Oh my gosh. Let alone high profile cases. Rittenhouse wasn't even famous. Listen, like the Ghislaine Maxwell case, people thought it was unfair that Ghislaine Maxwell's case didn't allow the public in. I'm like, well, the fact of the matter is the public is not even really supposed to be able to bring camcorders in the courthouse itself. But the fact that the public wasn't allowed in, yeah, that shit was weird, though. Like, and it's just like my man said, high profile cases. Rittenhouse wasn't even a famous dude, you know. So yes, we already know it's smoke and mirrors with that. Think of celebrities as replicate human beings in Blade Runner. The whole narrative you see of them is fake. That's what I've been saying. They characters. It's a real life movie that you're watching for real. And just because the character dies doesn't necessarily mean the one who played him died. Like if you're watching, like she said, Blade Runner, and the main character gets shot or something like that in the movie, that doesn't mean the guy who played him got shot. And the discernment between the two is really hard for people to grasp. But like, yo, this is the reason why a lot of people say Tupac went to Cuba and this and that and the third. I've even heard like this. I don't know. I don't have the information on it, but I've actually seen on the Industry Hoax's website on their YouTube channel rather. They actually said that Michael Jackson did not die. That was crazy. I was like, now I don't have any evidence. I saw that off of their page, and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. If you're running Kali, Linux, Opera, free VPN, and ad blocker, VPN is fire. Yes, sir. What up, Bill? Yes, sir. That doesn't even make sense, bro. What charge does the deep state fall under? Yeah, how about that? But it would have to be a type thing where it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Um, if there is, which we know there's a republic, but we don't even know if there's like official government in the republic. You know what I mean? We know the republic exists, but as far as we know, the republic is an empty house. You know what I mean? That people are still trying to fall back into. So there's a lot we ain't being told, man. And if there is a republic that's a government, that means these shady motherfuckers know what the fuck is going on. They've been letting this shit slide for a minute. That's just more question marks. You know what I mean? But he's right. What charge does that fall under? That is some interesting stuff. But he's right. All right, let's move on here. So let's move on to this one. Now, we know about the mass shooter that happened in New York. We're going to be talking a little bit about that too. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, there's a mass shooter that was in the subway in New York. All right, so there's supposed to be this heavy set quote unquote black guy that was supposed to have ran away from the police and evaded the police. And this dude looked like he was all of 295 pounds. And not a short dude at all. Dude was tall too. So they're saying this guy had a history of mental health, all this shit. They found his credit card right near the scene inside of a U-Haul he rented. This is all the narrative that they're feeding the public. They're saying that they found the credit cards inside of a rental, U-Haul rental he had rented. He ran away on foot and got away from the police, evaded the police. None of the cameras were working. You know what I mean? The footage we saw was like questionable footage. And they're saying that this guy was a mass shooter or whatever like that. So the narrative they're putting out there is that this guy did the damage and he's being hemmed up for it. Well, very interestingly enough, one of the last places he was seen was Moon Township in Pennsylvania. All right, so when you start to look into Moon Township, it has a reputation for being a heavily military-based city. Like there's a lot of different military bunkers and buildings in Moon Township, from what they say. But when you look closer, some of these false flags were recorded in Moon Township. I'm trying to find you the exact. All right, so okay, look, check this out. It looked like the real thing, but what passengers flying in and out of Pittsburgh International Airport may have noticed, no, on one of the runways was just a drill. All right, so the FAA requires a large-scale drill like the one held Thursday evening every 3 years. Check this out. The scenario was that a commercial plane had an engine fail during takeoff and there was a low impact crash. A wing fell off and there was a fire. Officials say 120 volunteers represented injured passengers and wore tags detailing what was wrong with them. All right. Now, follow me here. All right. Emergency transponders stationed at the airport, as well as neighboring fire departments and paramedics, bolted into action. The airport's authority, Brad Penrose, says it's a test. It's a test of communication, among other things. He says that the airport has smaller drills and tests on a regular basis. A construction project allowed him to hold this mock disaster on an actual runway, so they made sure that the passengers on other planes were alerted to what they might see was only a drill. All right, so this was in Moon Township, and they do things like this in this specific place in Pennsylvania. So there's a whole entire area that's dedicated to what's called drills and military things like that. So here's what I'm gonna say to you, all right? And this, I'm gonna leave it here because I'm not gonna beat this with a dead horse because everybody in here is intelligent, all right? Moon Township was one of the last places this guy was seen at. Why? A lot of these drills and things like this were done in this area, and I would go as far as to say I don't know if it's practice. Who knows? I mean, drills is, what is a drill? A drill is basically practice, right? And we can go ahead and conclude that dude was supposedly at that scene. So I'm gonna leave you guys to piece the rest of that together. I'm gonna leave you guys to piece the rest of that together because I'm sure everybody in here can connect the dots and realize why we should not be worried. And again, we got to remember too, the case the Supreme Court decided to finally take up regarding the Second Amendment is actually being deliberated upon right now as we speak. The declaration from that trial is supposed to be in June. So you're going to see a lot more shit like this happening to try to sway the public opinion about what Supreme Court might say about the right to bear arms. You guys aren't familiar. If you forgot, New York is actually going against, there's a gentleman who was denied a concealed carry permit, and they told him he didn't have a clear and substantial reason. His clear and substantial reason was to be able to protect himself and his family. They didn't deem that as a good reason. Well, if you didn't know, Heller versus DC actually declared that DC's unconstitutional, pretty much the way they were doing things with concealed carry permits, it was declared unconstitutional. So they had to turn DC from a may issue state to a shall issue state or city or whatever the fuck you want to call DC. Legal fiction. How about that? But yeah, so they actually declared that that had to be turned over. So now it's a shell issue state, quote unquote. So if you go to apply, then you can actually be able to get one right away. It's nothing for you to be able to get one pretty much. If this happens and it turns over in New York, that has the potential to be groundbreaking all around the country. And when I say that, I basically mean places like Hawaii who don't issue CCW permits to anybody. Maryland, who's very notorious for not giving anybody a CCW permit unless you already been like injured by a criminal or something like that, or threatened or something like that. Yeah, that's is pretty much it sets the standard of all these places. Now you shouldn't even need a permit anyway to carry. We already know that, but it's just like the traveling thing. You know what I mean? You're gonna face some pushback from people not knowing what the fuck they're doing. You might have a rookie that don't know what he's doing. He just knows statutes. He don't know about. He ain't even read the Constitution before. So this is a common thing we may have to deal with. But this is I said this a while ago. Like, yo, you're gonna start to see a lot of that shit happening all over the place, and it's gonna become a pandemic. So if Supreme Court says, yeah, that's unconstitutional, you can't do that anymore, and they got the public saying, oh no, we want this, and it's like, yo, all right, look, the only way y'all can actually lose your rights is if y'all volunteer away. So I think that might be personally what it is. I had a friend of mine was basically saying that's not what it is. It's just a fear thing, which the fear is also something that's probably why that's happening. But yeah, what up, Wolf? What up, Wolf? What's going on? What up, A6 and the fam? They actors act in our world, not just on TV. They move the entertainment in the real world public. Are you not entertained? Yeah, man, 100%. I agree with that. A channel called Neural Neophyte is experimenting with the detachable coupon that comes with bills of charging a debt. Anybody here try it? It may actually work. Yeah, I'm probably not going to discuss that today, to be honest with you, Gary. We'll probably do that another day because that's a lot. But yeah, it's I've heard a lot of testimony saying it's legit. So hey, what can I say? Let's move on, shall we? Now I want to show you guys this real quick. I actually stumbled upon this a few minutes before I decided to set up here on the live. Look at this right here. This is a Organization of American States, OAS, the website, oas.org. You guys can sniff around here and let me know what you guys think. I actually did some research myself. So this is pretty much information about the diplomatic processes, and it actually has the different forms on here. Because like I was for the longest time, I was trying to find out these. I was like, yo, there has to be forms that people are filling out for this kind of thing, and I was just interested, just looking around, and I stumbled upon this right here. So this website apparently it's got different forms and things like that, accreditations, and they've got driver's licenses for diplomats and stuff like that. Very interesting stuff, man. And this stuff's always worth to read because you're gonna learn something regardless if you've never read it before. So I would highly recommend reading this. Just sniff through it, man. It's very interesting some of these things you might find on this website. But it talks about getting diplomatic a driver's license, diplomatic license plates. There's a whole department in the Department of State for foreign national diplomats. So you start talking about foreign nationals and you start talking about, quote unquote diplomatic immunity, you know, you start looking around, you start having questions, you're looking for answers. So check that website out right there if you have any questions about it. All right, let's move on, shall we? So what I wanted to get to you guys about, I told you yesterday we are going to be doing this. So we're going to look at some tax stuff on the IRS's website. Now I don't know if a majority of you have actually been to the IRS's website, but I want to show you this because I think a lot of things we talk about actually gets brought up here, but the way it's brought up is so interesting. The way the wording is. All right, so check this out. This is the truth about frivolous arguments. So this is on the public website, the IRS public website. Ain't nothing hidden, and this was updated March 2018. All right. So a lot of questions and a lot of things you hear people talking about around YouTube. There's different people that popped up recently. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff is on here. All right. So let's look at contention one. So contention all the way down here in section C, contention one. And it says taxpayer is not a citizen of the United States. Now, peep how they wrote the word citizen. This is the little shit, like the little minute shit. If you don't grasp, you're gonna miss it. But look at this right here. Taxpayer is not a citizen of the United States and thus not subject to federal income tax laws. All right. So here's what it says. The meaning of certain terms used in the Internal Revenue Code. And it says contention one, taxpayer is not a citizen of the United States and thus is not subject to the federal income tax laws. Then it says some individuals argue that they have rejected citizenship in the United States in favor of state citizenship. Now look how the word state citizenship is written down. Look at that. Lowercase s, lowercase c. Therefore, they are relieved of their federal income tax obligations. A variation of this argument is that a person is a freeborn citizen, lowercase c again, of a particular state, lowercase s, and thus was never a citizen, lowercase c, of the United States. Now, they made sure to capitalize the United States, all right? The underlying theme of these arguments is the same. The person, there's that word again, is not a United States citizen, lowercase c, and is not subject to federal tax laws because only United States citizens, lowercase c, are subject to these laws. Then it says the law. The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution defines the basis for United States citizenship, lowercase c, stating that all persons, there's that word again, born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens, lowercase c, of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Now, here's the interesting part about it, all right? They made sure to quote the 14th Amendment, and then it says state right there with a capital S. All right, so it's basically saying you can be, from what they're inferring from that 14th Amendment, you can be a state citizen and also a U.S. citizen, pretty much, which we've saw that in the IRS code too, where it says, in terms of you being a U.S. citizen and a state citizen, pretty much, you can be both. It'll say all persons are United States. Or what does it say? All United States citizens or nationals, but not all nationals are United States citizens. I think that's what they said, or something of that nature. But yeah, to that gist. And then it says the 14th Amendment therefore establishes simultaneous state, lowercase s, and federal citizenship, lowercase c. Claims that individuals are not citizens, lowercase c, of the United States, but are solely citizens, lowercase c, of sovereign states, lowercase s, and not subject to federal taxation have been uniformly rejected by the courts, which they should have been. And we know why. The IRS has warned taxpayers, there's that word, of the consequences of making this frivolous argument. And it has a quote there, Reverend ruling, what is it, REV ruling 2007-22 and 2007-1CB866. In variation of this argument, the taxpayers, as that word, argue that although they are citizens, lowercase c, of the United States, for the purposes of Internal Revenue Code, they are non-resident aliens and are subject to taxation only on income that is connected with the conduct or trade of business. The 11th Circuit rejected this contention as frivolous. All right. So you can go on and read more of it, but it's pretty, if you read it not knowing what you're reading and not knowing the definitions of what the Constitution actually says, I can 100% see why this would pretty much stop anybody else from moving any further. But when you actually read the Constitution and you see that the uppercase C is used earlier in the Constitution, I think it was before the 14th Amendment, correct? I think it was before the 14th Amendment. It was everything was uppercase C for a citizen, not lowercase, which is basically like a subject or such. But when you actually know that, it's very interesting what you really start to draw from it. And this is also why your boy Yusuf L says, pick your ass up a Black's Law dictionary and look up what the word actually means, because you'd be surprised what a lot of this stuff means. It don't mean the same thing. So there you have it. There's that. And there's another one in here I wanted to share with you guys too. Oh, check this out right here. So it says, contention. Taxpayer is not a person as defined by the Internal Revenue Code, thus is not subject to federal income tax laws. All right, so let's read what it says. Some individuals and groups maintain maintain they are not a person, excuse me, as defined by Internal Revenue Code, and thus not subject to federal income tax laws. This argument is based on a tortured misreading of the code. In a variation of this argument, some individuals and groups argue that the IRS correspondences addressed to taxpayers in all capital letters, and they even put the capitals right there, are not valid. Proponents of this argument claim there is a legal distinction under state law that entities such as corporations are legally addressed in this matter, and since taxpayers are not fictional legal entities, the correspondence is not valid. And they go on to state the law. The Internal Revenue Code clearly defines person and sets forth which persons are subject to federal taxes. All right. Section 7701A14 defines taxpayer as any person subject to any internal revenue tax, and Section 7701A1 defines person to include, and this is also in Black's Law Dictionary, person to include an individual, which you know that the word individual is also one of those tricky words. Then it says trust, which a trust can be a person, estate can be a person, partnership can be a person, or a corporation can also be a person. Arguments that an individual is not a person within the meaning of the Internal Revenue Code have been uniformly rejected. A similar argument with respect to the term individual has also been rejected. The IRS warned taxpayers of the consequences of making this frivolous argument. Now it says taxpayers right there again, too. So there you have it. It's got a bunch of case law, too. You can look into if you like, but you can head right on the website and read it yourself. All right. Well, look at this. This was an interesting one, too. All right, so it goes contention. The United States consists of only the District Columbia, federal territories, and federal enclaves. Now check this out. Some individuals and groups argue that the United States consists of only the District of Columbia, federal territories, e.g., Puerto Rico, Guam, and federal enclaves, American Indian reservations, military bases, and such, and does not include the sovereign states. You know, sovereign states with a sovereign is supposed to be with a capital S, I believe, and states is supposed to be with a capital S to it. You're talking about what they're trying to make you believe they're talking about. According to this argument, if a taxpayer does not live within the United States as so defined, he is not subject to federal tax laws. All right, so that's what they're saying, that they're trying to tell you what the contention says, right? And then they tell you the law. The Internal Revenue Code imposes a federal tax upon all United States citizens and residents. There's those words again. So it's double talk, yo. It's double talk. Let me read you what it actually says right here. We talked about this before, but for those of you who haven't heard or you're just tuning in, let me show you. This is why the importance of reading books is key. Now, this isn't The Art of Passing the Buck, Secrets of Wills and Trusts. You've heard me read this off before. I'm going to read it off again. And then this one's about the Federal Reserve and the IRS. All right, so it says right here in this book, the second, the IRS is also a fall governmental entity and acts as the money collector, data collector, and enforcement arm for the owners of privately owned Federal Reserve Bank. Worse, since these same people have de facto control of the government, they have long been using its full weight and power to systematically lie to the people and trick them into surrendering their rights and property. For example, there is the issue of the term non-resident alien. It means one who is a citizen of one of the several states and not a U.S. citizen, who is a taxable entity. This requires a lengthy legal discussion, but seems to be one of those main points in the Internal Revenue Code 861 argument, which is beyond the scope of this book. Then it goes down to say right here in the description, the entire definition of engaged in trade or business within the United States becomes a game of words. Within the United States refers to the federal territories and not to any activity in the 50 states. See appendix for a definition of the United States and the United States of America per the terms of the Internal Revenue Code and case law. Internal revenue districts outside the District of Columbia were abolished as a result of the IRS Restructuring and Reform Act of 1998. If I had a mic right now that I could drop, I would drop that motherfucker. But yo, they get busy with the wordplay, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Like, listen, if like imagine being like a regular ass US citizen and reading this shit. You'd be terrified. You'd be like, oh fuck this. I'm just gonna pay my taxes. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like this is this is this is expert sorcery at this point. You know what I mean? Crazy. And it's word salad pretty much. So if you don't know what you're reading, yes, it will throw you all the way off. But if you know the abbreviation matters, you know what capitals are in what place matters, all caps matters. This is why you always get stuff when it comes to legal issues. It's always in capital. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't send it to you in all capitals all the time. Sometimes it might be in all capitals, sometimes it wouldn't be. You could even request them to stop putting your name in all capitals. You can't request that. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? No. How about that? That's what they're gonna say to you. A lot of them don't even know why, but yeah, it's common sense, man. When you really start to know how stuff's broken down, that really you can define it yourself. But if you guys want to read some more of these, there's a bunch of stuff in here too. There's some good ones. Only foreign source income is taxable. Wages, tips, and other compensation received for personal services are not income. Military retirement pay does not constitute income. There's a bunch of stuff on here, man. The IRS must prepare federal tax returns for a person who fails to file. Compliance with an administrative summons issued by the IRS voluntary. Now, here's the interesting thing I read about this. They said they gave instructions for any hold on, I think it might have been this page right here. Let me see here. Nah, that's not it. I gotta find it again, but it was on one of these websites where it basically said if you get a letter or something like that from someone basically saying that they don't have jurisdiction for whatever reason, they mark it off with I think it might have been like uh uh I don't think they put tax protester on there. I think they put another term. I don't know if it was sovereign or something like that. It was something they put on the paperwork. It was like like file this on the paperwork and then give it to your whoever. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're saying like if you use this shit, you will be thrown under the. Nah, it's not that simple. But they were saying in so many words from what I took from it, like, all right, mark this on the paperwork if the paperwork is what it's supposed to be, and then pass it off because this is beyond your pay grade. Facts. Wolf says the term income is not defined, but means gains on corporate activities. It's the slick shit, man. That's what I'm saying. It's the slick shit. It's not. This ain't straightforward, man. This is deception right here. That's what it is. It's deception. Real Gov is the internal revenue fake corporate version of Puerto Rico is an internal revenue service. They're not the same. The wordplay is top notch. Yes, sir. That wordplay would go as far as the rival Jay-Z's wordplay, like late Blueprint Jay-Z's wordplay. God damn. Yes, sir. Lost Rose, reading that book right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. United States citizen is the 14th Amendment taxpayer versus citizen of the United States, aka non-citizens of the United States. In the state means within the legal corporate jurisdiction. Yep. Yep. And they got to follow Uniform Commercial Code because they're dealing in commerce. So then you got to look at UCC 9-307, which we always talk about, Section H, which basically says that it's in Washington, D.C. We got to look at that. Then we got to look at 15 USC, is it 28? I think it's 15 USC 3002, Section 15, which basically states that the United States is a federal corporation. So both of those, I would say, come into play when you're talking about that. And this is what gives them three definitions of that word. You know what I mean? So got to be clear about what exactly they're talking about. And you know what the funny thing is? You can't get nobody on the phone. When you try to call the IRS, nobody wants to answer the phone. They might be understaffed. I will say this. The government is hurting right now. That C-19 took a lot of wind out of their sails, boy. A whole lot of wind out of their sails. So please, if y'all are interested in this information, jump right on. And that's another thing too, yo. Start going to the source for stuff like this. Learn what the terminology is and go right to the website. Go right to the website. Why go anywhere else? Go to the website and see what they're talking about. See what they mean. You know what I mean? Go right to the website and see what they mean. But yeah, I was blown away. I was talking to Wolf about this, and we were just looking at some of these different definitions they have, and it was mind boggling how what kind of twists and turns they throw at you with these words, man. New knowledge world page back booming. What? I'm sorry. I know who you're talking about, but what are you talking about? You talking about his page, or you're talking about the knowledge we drop here, or you talking about his channel? I'm lost. I couldn't make sense out of that. What up, Albert? Expert sorcery. Yes, sir. Yeah, facts. Is what matter of sorcery is this? Like that's the only thing I could think when I was reading that. They use they double talk. They use double talk. They use uh what is it? Capitalization. They used, all that stuff was used. You know what I mean? It was just sheesh. You can tell it was put together by lawyers. 100%. The word person, a big one. Everyone needs to know that, right? Oh, absolutely, Kenzo. Yeah, person is 100% a big one. What we got here? Just gave my employer the IRS I-9 form, second paragraph, non-citizen, national, and federal tax exempt. Fire. Yeah, I've actually seen someone use that IRS form, I-9 form. Actually, that form is not IRS. That form is what is that? I think that's Department of Homeland Security or something like that. But yeah, that I-9 form, I've actually seen someone use that form. Check your check though, because 1 week she used the form and there was no taxes on it, and then the following week there was taxes back on it. So and when y'all filling these forms out, please make sure y'all use, if y'all going to do the non-citizen national thing, like remember how you filled the passport out. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Remember how you filled the passport. Don't be going in there doing U.S. citizen activity. All right. If you over here claiming national and you engage in U.S. citizen activity, aka not knowing what the hell you're doing, you will be treated as such. All right. All right. Boom. So look, been creeping up on an hour now. Let me make sure I ain't miss none of these comments, man. But yeah, again, this stuff it comes back to the whole thing. I think it's black magic, man. I think it's a combination of black magic, radio signals, whatever the hell you want to call it. They get busy out here with the deception though. But this is how they were able to maintain that iron fist so long, man. In ignorance. And then the information is already out there, yo. Like, and this stuff is not new. It's been there for probably at least 100 years. The website ain't probably been up that long, but it's been out there like forever, man. It's just people ain't reading. People too busy doing their thing, trying to, work a 9 to 5 or day to day, and they're not really learning anything additional. But that's what keeps the grip on their necks, keeps them under. But yeah, so let's go back to the. I haven't pulled this bad boy out in a little bit for you guys. Let's get the old faithful up in here. All right, this is the third. You know what? No, I ain't gonna use the third edition, man. I ain't gonna use the third edition. I'm gonna use the sixth edition. Let's hop up in this bad boy. All right, and let's read what it says for stuff like, person is really hold on. It's a lot of pages for person. Literally, it's a whole bunch of them. All right. There we go. Yeah, see, there's literally pages. I'm not going to read this whole entire thing. Person, like, really goes on. They go in on when it comes to person. Like, literally, this is how much of definition they have for person. And this talks about case law and all that stuff. So it starts right here, right there where my finger is, right there where my finger's pointing. and it goes all the way over to like this page. It stops right here. So that's literally like a page and a half of definitions for person. Don't forget the WABN form. Yeah, you that too. The WABN form. Yep. W4V is another great one. WABN. The WABNE is for estates and trusts, and then the 8233 form. I haven't used the 8233. I've looked it over though. But yeah, hey, I know people who have used the W4V. I mean, listen, the form W4V wouldn't exist if taxes were not optional, pretty much, or voluntary. There would be no form W4V. Like literally, like yo, listen, have you looked at the form? Like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't exist if it wasn't for that. All right, so let's read the first definition of person. All right. So it says, in general use, a human being, and we know a human being is a monster. I don't have the Black's Law definition one, but yo, I heard that bitch is like $1,500. But yeah, it's actually got the definition for human being as a monster with no rights, pretty much. But yeah, they took that out of version 3 and version all the way up to 6 and the ones afterwards. In general usage, a human being, i.e., natural person, though by statute term may include labor organizations, statute term, labor organizations, partnerships, associations, corporations, legal representatives, trustees in bankruptcy, or receivers. All right. And it says, see, e.g., National Labor Relations Act 21, Act 2129 USCA Statute 152, Uniform Partnership Act Statute 2. Then it says scope and delineation for term is necessary for determining those whom 14th Amendment and Constitution affords protection, since this amendment expressly applies to person. So it says scope and delineation of term is necessary for determining those to whom 14th Amendment Constitution affords protection, since this amendment expressly applies to a person. It says it right there. You gotta delineate exactly what you mean. And it says bankruptcy code. Person includes individual, partnership, and corporation. So those are business terms. Individual, partnership, and corporations are business terms. So my thing is, why don't it just say man or woman? You know what I mean? Like, it don't, because it can't. All right. Then it says definition for corporation. A corporation is a person with meaning 14th Amendment equal protection and due process provisions of the United States Constitution. So the business, if you have a business, your business can be a United States person or a United States quote unquote citizen, pretty much. That's the business can be a citizen itself, which means it has all the protections from the Bill of Rights. Facts. This is why a lot of places, if you all right, so let's say for instance, you own like a tattoo shop. Let's just say a tattoo shop. And let's say the owner of the tattoo shop has about 10 employees. And the owner says everybody in here can carry like whatever you want to carry around while you're on the premises. You can carry just in case somebody tries to take you for your money or some of your cash. You can carry when you're on the property. And the police don't have any jurisdiction over that because the right to bear arms basically falls underneath that pretty much. Which means the Constitution would cover that as a person, and that wouldn't even really be a right though. That'd be more of a privilege, I believe, from what I'm thinking, because it's still if it's a U.S. person, pretty much, that defines it as a benefits and privileges, pretty much. That's what I would say it as. In corporate law, includes individual and entity. Yep, man, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It's a lot of it stuff in here. You guys should take a look at it whenever you get a chance, because it gets deep. But yeah, there's so many definitions for the word person. All right, let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat so you guys can hop on if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever. Or you want to just shoot the shit, talk about whatever, that matter. Yeah, boy, put this back. Why isn't this loading? Wow, it's not letting me put the link in here. What kind of shit is this? Hold on. Let me. It's not trying to let me put the link in here. Some fuckery afoot. Hold on. There we go. I think. Wait a minute. Hold on now. It don't look like it's working. Yeah, this is awfully suspect right now. It's not trying to. There we go. It just posted twice for some reason. That was weird. Was not trying to let me post that in here. All right, so if anybody want to hop in, there's the link, and we can get to it. But yeah, the W4V form, I'll highly recommend any of these forms you decide to use. Read the directions. Please read the directions. Even the W4 form, people don't want to fill out. Read the directions on the W4 form. Read it. And you'd be surprised what you find. And this stuff is fun to read because it's hidden right in front of you. It's not like you gotta go somewhere and ask somebody on a high mountain, some high priestess. You know what I mean? Nah, bro. All you gotta do is freaking read the directions. It is right there, man. Everything is right there. Read the small print or what have you. All right, so we got my man in the green room, the bad.
What's going on, A6? What's going on, A6 family, fellow Wolves, and
Yes,
everybody out there, fellow non-citizen nationals?
What it is, fam? So what's been good with you? What's that right there? I can't see it.
Black Laws Dictionary, first edition, 1891.
Oh, you got the first edition. My man dropped the big bucks for that joint. Yeah, I seen one going for 1,500, but that was an auction, so it still was going up.
Bro, I got lucky. I got that one for $250.
What?
Yeah.
The one I got right here cost me $350. And this is a volume 3. This ain't even the volume 1.
Yeah, I caught that one. I just happened to randomly Google search and it popped up and I was like, nah, it can't be $250. That's gotta be $2,500 or something. Nope. Picked it up for $250, mint condition. I mean, nothing, just clean as a whistle, bro. So keep your eye out.
Could you read the definition of human being in there for us?
Let me take a look. I have not looked that up since getting this book. So let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I think it's human being where it says monster that can own no property and has no rights. Human being.
That's very similar. That's actually under person too. It doesn't say monster in it, but let me see what human being has on that.
Because it's like one of them. It's one of those things where, like, you look up one definition, then it takes you to another one. You look up that one, then it takes you to another area. Then it finally gets to the nitty gritty. Like, all right, you got me, monster, fucking. That kind of thing. Yeah, you know that kind of stuff.
All right. I'm not seeing human being.
Really?
LM. Yeah, no human being.
Look up. See if it's monster. Maybe you can look up monster or something. Try to see if it's monster in there. I know it was one of them actually. Maybe it was Bouvier's.
It might be Bouvier.
Might have been Bouvier's dictionary. I think it's funny how they took the word driver out of the later ones though, because they kept getting beat over the head with that shit. Fuck y'all, man. Y'all reading ass motherfuckers. Why y'all gotta read shit now?
You are right, good sir. Monster, a progenious birth, a human birth or offspring not having the shape of mankind, which cannot be heir to any land, albeit brought forth in marriage. It says BRACT, BRACT.FOL.5, COLITT 8782 BI com, and then 246. I have no idea what all that is, but yeah, so a human birth or offspring.
Yo, and this is the kind when y'all go in them administrative courts, this is what you up against.
Yep. And then person, I gave you a little bit of that one. Hold on, let me get to that one. All right, person. A man considered according to the rank he holds in society, with all the rights to which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which it imposes. Bouvier, number 137. A human being considered as capable of having rights and of being charged with duties, while a thing is the object over which rights may be exercised. Persons are divided by law into natural or artificial. Natural persons are such as God of nature formed us. Artificial are such as are created and devised by human laws for the purpose of society and government, which are called corporations or bodies politic.
There you go. 100%. Consultant says it's in Bouvier's. Okay.
Bouvier's.
Nice, Wolf. Got to go back to the Latin with persona, a noun. Look up natural person. I believe the 1930 edition, A6. Okay. I might have it in mind. Hold on. Yeah, we got to do a show where we just read definitions all day. Because you can literally do a show where you just reading stuff off.
Natural person. Yeah, I can check that one out. Yeah, my Bouvier's is in the library. So I don't have it up here. Let's see. Natural person. All right.
Natural. There we go. I do not have. I don't got natural person in mind, man. I don't have it.
If you don't have it in yours, it might not be in this one then either.
Let me look at my newer one. Hold on. I see natural law, natural. Yeah, I don't see anything here for natural person.
Huh. I do have natural person in here.
You do? I don't have it in mind. They must have taken it out between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Go ahead. What does it say?
Natural persons, such as are formed by nature, are distinguished from artificial persons or corporations formed by human laws for the purpose of society and government.
Yeah, I don't have that in mind. That's interesting. So they took that out between yours and this one? What kind of
they must have got beat up, like you said, on that one. They're like, oh, let's hold off for a minute.
Yeah, right. Hey, take that shit out of there, bro. Just take it out of there, man. They got beat over the head too much. Like it's just like the traveling thing, you know what I mean? People be saying, "Yeah, I'm not employed." It's like, you know what? It ain't in there no more. Now what? It ain't in there no more. All right.
Well, that's almost even better because if it's not defined, then it's up for grabs.
Facts. I actually heard they changed the definition. They put it back in there, but they changed. Matter of fact, hold on. I think they might have changed it in this one.
They expanded it, at least in the 11. I got the 11 with the expanded version. And they have like another 7 or 8 definitions of it now.
Really? What volume are they on now?
11. It's the 11th edition, and the best one is the expanded.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if it's in here. It has all the extra cliff notes and stuff in it.
But yeah, they get all of this stuff and what they do with the definitions from case law and people coming in using their information against them. They start changing things. Like you say, when we move, they move, you know?
Yep, all the time.
That's why y'all got to stay up on your definitions, stay up on your learning, man, because I'm telling you, there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
Stuff. All right, where we at? Here we go. I think it should be on this page right here. Driver. Check this out. You listen to this shit. Yo, hold on. Yo, read yours off because I want to read mine back to back. Read yours off first.
All right, hold on.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, let me get there.
I'm ready to go traveling next. Wait a minute, hold on, that's crazy. Traveler is interesting. Traveler is very interesting.
Okay, driver. Okay, so in this one, it says driver, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle with horses, mules, or other animals.
All right, now check this out. Mine says driver, a person actually doing driving, whether employed by owner to drive or driving his own vehicle.
So
This is a classic example of when we move, they move. That is, if it doesn't get any, and this is volume 6 right here. All right,
yeah,
they're on 11 now, so it probably changed again.
yeah, I got that one. I'd have to go and grab it from the other book. But so in looking at the word driver and the definition, one employed,
Yeah.
it says it right there. You look up the word of employment, that tells you it's for commerce.
Exactly. And then it
That's
tried
why
to
they-
say driving his own vehicle. A vehicle by code of what is it? Is that code of federal regulation or is that United States code as far as vehicle goes?
I don't remember off the top.
Where's Jimmy Bennett at? He's real sharp with that type of stuff. I think it might have been the United States code. I gotta find it for definitions.
But yeah, so employ, just once again, employment application, employ. You know what I mean? That's for commerce.
Exactly.
So, and then here it just says any of those or other vehicle with horses, mules, or animals. So back in the day, they were just talking about it had to be an animal.
Right. Yeah. All right. So check this out. Then for traveler, and after let's start with travel. Travel. It says to go from one place to another at a distance to journey. Spoken of voluntary change of place within the meaning of a constitutional right to travel, which means migration with an intent to settle and abide. It literally says that, and this is in volume 6. All right. Then it says traveler, one who passes from place to place, whether for pleasure, instruction, business, or health. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
That's like the back of the passport card I did a video on. It actually says right on there for international air or land travel.
Yep. It says it right on there. The details, man. The details, goddamn it. They matter, man. Reading matters.
It does. And comprehension.
Comprehension and reading matters, man. But yeah, this is a prime example of why you guys need to start buying stuff like this. Get this one, get the old one. So this is the 6th edition right here. All right. So start getting the old ones and grab a couple of the new ones rather, and grab a couple of old ones just so you can see how much things have changed. Or you can just do what everybody else does and just get on the internet and look. But I mean, I like to have the hard copies myself.
Right.
Know what I mean? All right, where we at? We behind on these comments. They have Black Law 2nd edition on Amazon right now for $187. That's a good price. Somebody hop on that. $187. That's a good price. Hop on that. I would just identify as a living man or woman if they try to deny, ask them to prove you're not. Yeah, I wonder if you could like go to the doctor and get like a bill of health or something like that. Basically, I'm a living man. It's right here, right here.
That's a good idea.
I'm a healthy living man. Get a notary jurat, whatever, include that in an affidavit. Hey, Valentine's Law Dictionary is good too. I never heard of that. Interesting. And Valentine's is under the definition of monster. Okay. Hyphenate and make your own terms too. Yeah, right. The what is that? What's that language called again?
Legalese.
No, the hyphenations.
Oh, quantum syntax.
Quantum syntax. Yeah. You guys will tell me about quantum syntax.
Yeah, quantum syntax grammar. There's a guy named Mark Christopher who issues a lot of information about that, but it was who else does it? Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller is actually the creator of it. He's from Wisconsin. He's from the state.
I thought he was from Canada.
What's that?
No, Gould is from Canada, right?
Yeah, I think he's from there.
Yeah. He's like the postmaster or something like that, isn't he?
Yeah, the general postmaster, something like postmaster general, something like that.
That's interesting stuff. I know a guy was telling me a lot of dudes are using the post office to bring them back to the land jurisdiction. He was saying that some of the Moors don't even use the non-citizen national passport because it's unnecessary. He was like, they just basically there's a process they do, but somehow they get like their address changed on all their forms to the post office, and that's back on land because there is no, mail delivery at sea when it comes to that kind of thing. Anyway, we're not talking about like air mail or anything. That's a little further than what we're talking about. But he was saying what they basically do is they put that address on all of their forms, and then that brings them back to the land jurisdiction, which means they get all their rights back. He says it works pretty good with the estate, they say. I've never done it, but it's something I'm definitely going to be looking into because it sounds like some information we need to be familiar with.
Yeah, informing them that you are on the land and that you are on land jurisdiction and not, because remember, you always have to rebut their assumptions. Because if you're dealing with them, unfortunately, they're under their entire jurisdiction is water-based maritime admiralty.
Yep.
And so they're assuming if you're there that you're playing on the water because, well, you're there and you're in front of them. So, and that's their jurisdiction. So you've got to be, but where the water meets the land is your bank. That's why you do business at the bank. And so you're on land. So you're trying to reserve your rights to stay there and not wade out into their waters.
Facts. I've even heard somebody say that once you go past that, I think it's once you walk in the door, but once you go past the bar, then yeah, you're out there at sea pretty much.
Well, what happens is the moment you step off of the public area on the outside of the building, you are in their water. And the closer you get to the judge or the magistrate, I should say, the further out into the waters you're going. And the further into, not only are you in the water then, but once you pass the gate, you're actually onto the ship's, the captain, which is the magistrate's inner chambers, essentially. Yes. So the closer you get to him, the deeper contract, you're making a physical contract every time you get closer to him.
Yeah, that sounds very much logical. And then I go as far as to say when you even go in the courthouse at all, the reason you got to walk past a metal detector is the same reason you got to do that kind of thing when you're getting on a plane to go to another country. It's like you're going through a metal detector because you're going to a whole different jurisdiction. Like you said.
Yep. They want to make sure that you have nothing offensive or defensive on you. So, yeah, for obvious reasons, because, then you can't hurt them and they can kidnap you.
They can do whatever they want to you, right? Well, shit, man. That's what I'm saying. One of the best things they could have done was taking people's arms away, really, like for that kind of shit, if they want to just run over top of people.
They basically be like this. We know he ain't got no weapons on him. Yoink!
Sitting duck aisle southern goofy.
We got that code 7 coming through.
Consultant says you can tell them how you interpret it, and it's the common understanding within your culture and society. Word. A show doing definitions would be great. Yo, we need to probably do something like that, man. Just
that.
One employed. I love that. I'm sure if they had a time, here's how I know time machines ain't real. If they had a time machine, that shit would have never existed.
Bro, we'd be sitting here like, were we just talking about something?
I was like, hey, yo, who made this when he wrote that shit? Who made this? It took so many L's over there to the Supreme Court over the right to travel. How do you change the definition of vaccine too? Oh, they got busy with that one. Oh yeah, the hocus pocus, that was ill with that joint right there. Change that. They also changed the definition of herd immunity too. Y'all know about that? They redefine herd immunity as everybody take the vaccine, not get it and become immune after that as a group and get past it. Shoot, you can ask the judge, do you understand the difference between legal and lawful? And if they don't qualify them, they'll I'm pretty sure they would say yes to that. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be in this position.
That's a fire question right there. I'm writing that one down. Myself.
Yeah, facts.
Because you see what he did there, right? Because the word understand, whoever puts that out there is the lead. You're the master, because if you're saying, do you understand me? That means, do you stand underneath my power?
Boom.
So first of all, you got them right there. Okay. Second, now if they don't know the difference between legal and lawful, then you're disqualified, like you said, because then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing if you don't understand the difference.
Precisely. So let me tell y'all
Yeah.
this little technique I actually, very similar to what you just said. There's a technique I actually was reading. One of my guys had posted on here, and he was saying it's like different things you can use in court. Let's see if I can find it here. All right, check this out. So it says the banker says, oh wait a minute, this isn't the court one. This is something else. This is the secure party joint. Yeah, this is something else. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. That's not it. I literally take so many notes a week. This guy went off. He put about like 12 posts in a row about this stuff.
Bro, I'm telling you and the viewers, this is all notes, bro.
Listen, yeah, man, it's real out here, man. The
Like,
notes is real.
People be
Y'all
like,
be seeing me writing every time I'm doing the lives. I be learning from y'all.
like, oh yeah. People like, oh, how'd you put that file together? You got to piece it together. You know, that's what I do. That's why they're effective. Because for me, when I made like the magistrate cop stop letter, I pulled all the resources from all the Supreme Court opinions, law, everything, put it all together. I'm gonna hit you with all of it. So if you're gonna start creating your own documents and whatever, you got to take notes. You got to piece it together and fight. The pen is mightier than the sword.
100%. That's what it all is about, man. You got to be able to deliver that too. All right, so look, check this out. Courtroom techniques using the Uniform Commercial Code. All right, so he says, Judge, I do not understand this matter, and there's a question I would like to ask before I can make a response of innocent or guilty. I think it could be answered if I could put the officer on the stand for a moment and ask him a few short questions. So he says, the judge says, I don't see why not. Let's swear this officer in and have him take the stand. Then you say to the officer, is this the instrument you gave me, handing him the alleged traffic citation? Officer, yes, this is a copy of it. The judge has the other portion. To the officer, where did you get the address that you wrote on this citation? Officer, well, I got it from your driver's license. Handing the officer the alleged driver's license. Is this the same document you copied the name and address from? Officer, yes, this is where I got it. To the officer, while you've got that in your hand, would you read the signing that's on that license? The officer reads the signature autograph. To the officer, while you're there, would you read into the record what it says under the autograph? It says, without prejudice, UCC 1308. Yo, once he reads that on record, yo, like the whole shit is gonna just stop. Like the judge gonna be like, recess. Like,
Yep, that's it. No contract.
Hell no. That's a rap right there. On the record too? Nah, bro. Forget about it. Judge, let me see that license. The judge says, let me see the license. He looks at it and turns to the officer. You didn't notice this printing under the signature of this license while you copied his name and address on the ticket? Officer, oh no, I was just getting the address. I didn't look down there. Judge says, you're not very observant as an officer. Therefore, I'm afraid I cannot accept your testimony in regard to the facts of this case. This case is dismissed. In this case, the judge found a convenient way out. He could say the officer was not observant enough to be a reliable witness. He did not want to admit the nature of the jurisdiction of this court. Once it was on record that you had written without prejudice UCC 1308 on your license, the judge knew that he would have to admit that A, you reserved your common law rights under the UCC, and B, you had done it sufficiently by writing without prejudice UCC 1308 on the driver's license. C, the statute would now have to be read in harmony with the common law, and the common law says that the statute exists, but there is no injured party. And since there is no injured party or complaining witness, the court has no jurisdiction under the common law.
There you go. Booyah.
He's got a few other things on here too, but dude, that was the most fire one right there.
There's got to be a contract or an agreement that was entered into willfully for that to apply. Which there's not. Then there has to be an injured party, a signed, sworn, notarized complaint. Without those things in place, bye-bye.
Facts. All right, I got my man in the green room now, who everybody loves to hear from this guy, the consultant.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what's going
Good,
on, bro?
Famo. I know you got some bars. I see you getting busy in the chat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I was just saying, shoot, you asked them the right questions, such as like, what did I put in there? Do they understand the difference between legal and lawful, right? Because they have to be qualified. So you're working on a way to disqualify them. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're fired.
Well,
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So you're working on a way to disqualify them. So when they say, let's say if they say yes, right? Um, you know, if they say yes, then you will ask them, is this a legal proceeding? They'll say, yeah, duh. Okay. So you're admitting that it's not a lawful proceeding. You start asking them questions like that and going down the road, and the moment they admit that, you just get them to, you just jam them up with questions. I
Mhm.
would have to work on it's hard to do like impromptu like that, but
Right.
shit, you just go on that mindset there. You just start asking them questions. Um, yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah, you basically corner them with their own stuff and get them to admit this is where it is, and you can
Right,
kind of break it down like, okay, so this isn't an Article 3 court. This is not a judicial court, is what you're saying. This is a
right.
legislative.
Boom.
Yep.
Facts. The questions are key right there. Also, getting stuff on record too.
Yeah, for the record, and instead of just asking them, right there in the public, like, hey, did you swear oath to take, did you take an oath to the Constitution or whatnot? Instead of just saying all that, asking them, do they understand legal and lawful? Well, the Constitution is lawful, right? It's the law of the land. It ain't legal. It's the law of the land. And if the case isn't underneath the Constitution, well, shit, you don't have no business being there. You're not a corporation. You're not
Right.
colorable.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right, let's get down to some more of these comments. He says, and if they don't disqualify them, yes, sir. Just
Hell
learn
yeah.
about that. The consultant. The consultant says, and you can serve the judge your Bill of Rights in an affidavit form and preservation thereof. That way, they have personal knowledge of your rights. Do that before going into the courtroom.
Yeah, because
Consultant
then,
going crazy.
yeah, you serve the judge that, like, your Bill of Rights, the one that you created. Hey, these are my rights right here. I'm asserting them. That way, when you walk into court, the judge has personal knowledge and he's a witness. Let him do something adverse to you. Your Honor, you're aware of my rights, right? And no one objected to him, and it was an affidavit that was sent directly to you.
Yep.
No one objected to it, so therefore it stands as truth.
Yep.
That's one of the maxims of law. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth.
Man, you'll win all day.
Albert says, one would think that legal and lawful would be one of the same until you learn differently. That's what I used to think.
Yeah.
I thought they were interchangeable terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nope.
One
Legal
is at
means within
the
the corporation.
yeah the latter, like well, yeah, legal would be evidence that something is lawful, but if there's no organic law that empowered the legal statute, then it's null and void. Sort of like child support.
He going in
It's
for it.
nothing positive.
I've actually read somewhere in one of those. It had been one of them code. I think it was United States Code, where it basically said that family court, they don't really even have the jurisdiction to even deal in family like that. Like it was
Right.
interesting. It was the way it was read or written. I got to go back and find it because this guy had this video on YouTube like 2 years ago, and I stumbled across it. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." So how the fuck are they not paying attention to the code? But it's that trickery, you know?
It's
Because people got to start going to the county courts versus the circuit. You can sue for custody in the county court instead of going and filing, petitions to a circuit court. You go straight to a county court, do an administrative process before you go against your opponent, and default they ask and get a summary judgment and do it inside of county court. You can sue them for $5, but you want equitable um, a remedy, such as like if it's for your children, that's equitable, you know, things of that nature. But you got to have some type of monetary value in there too. So if it says the minimum is $35 and sue them for 40, and you want your kids,
Right? Bars.
you know.
Everybody over here soaking up game, bro.
It all still breaks down for me to jurisdiction and contract, because
Yeah.
they're trying to force you to do something that's slavery. Slavery has been outlawed in the United States, in all 50 states. So, ergo, anything else has to be an agreement or contract. Show me the agreement or the contract, or show me your jurisdiction to do what you're doing. Because if you think you've got jurisdiction, then there still has to be some form of contract. So, same thing with child support. It's all contract biz right there. Everything, all of it. That's all you have is you got public and private contracts and agreements and jurisdiction. That's it. Once you understand those things, you can go up against almost any situation and win. You know, that's it. Because if you're telling me you have the right to do you can do this to me, then okay, if you're forcing me, then you must own me. And if you own me, then I'm a slave, and that means you're a slave master, and that's against the federal Constitution and everything. So so what is it? Where's the agreement?
If they own you and you in litigation and you about to lose, and if they're claiming, the right to do the stuff they're doing to you, then it seems to me as if you're in a trust relationship and they're the trustees over you, right? You must be property, and they're breaching their contract. If you're so much a part of the public and they have a duty to protect the public, well, they're breaching their contract. They're not protecting you in that situation. You flip it back on them.
Yep.
I must be property of the state.
They're the trustees. That's in the Maryland Constitution.
Yeah.
My master not taking care of me.
That's hilarious. Sophia Graf says, too easy to prove you wrong in the moment on the I'm living according to this paper. LOL, this is probably funnier to me than anyone else. Did anybody, did I miss something there? Like,
I'm missing the whole thing.
like, huh? Okay. No disrespect, Sophia, but for some reason that we didn't grasp that. You got to rephrase that.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Jordan Thomas, natural law is respected by all. Civil law is respected by men who are members of society. As a member, you are under the authority, Congress, citizen, subject. Man is not limited to man's creation. Uncle Quest TC and his what up, man? Good to see you here, TC. Uncle. Killer Cashmere, man, what it do? What's good with you, man? Surfer dude, what's up with you? It's article wrangling, brothers. Wrangling. What is he talking about? They can find an address on the passport when you fill out the DS-11. I learned that being stopped while traveling in New York City. Police was lost. Nah, that's not what it is. They actually search your name and they search the birthday, and there's a database they have that connects directly with the Department of Motor Vehicles. And if you have a file in there, they can pull it up by that. They can even get the driver's license too. I didn't even see the consultant drop out.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. This is something weird. But yeah, it's not the fact that they can get that from the passport.
No, they go around it. They did that mess to me a long time ago. They get your name, they'll run the passport, and if they want to overstep, which is a federal offense because you've presented your most accurate identification at that point in time, and they'll take your name and run the database, and they'll ask you, oh, is this the current address, or is this what's your address? Once you give them that, or if they can find it on something, like with me, it was in my travel document package. I actually still had I had blacked out the driver's license number, which they put on your state ID, but it shows that I no longer have a driver's license. So what they did is pulled the address from there. So that was the one mistake I did a while back, where I should have had that crossed out, because without the address, they can't call jurisdiction. And if you've done your passport the right way, you're on the federal do not detain list, and you don't have an address on there in the first place. So when you give them that address and they ask, can you confirm your residence? Sir, is that information to be used against me, or can it be? Well, yeah. Well, then, I've got the right to refuse that. I can't give you something that's going to incriminate myself. So that's your job. You figure it out.
All right.
Yep.
I'll tell them I'm homeless. I live in my car.
That actually, there's a case that they just ruled. You remember we talking about that Bad Wolf? There's a case they had literally just ruled that basically said you can actually claim your car as a place like of where your residence or where your house is or something. That shit was crazy. But that was actually a Supreme Court ruling. Huh?
And they can't tow it. If you tell them that your house is your car at that point in time, they can't tow it because they can't take your house.
Supreme Court. That's crazy, man. Listen.
Yeah. I mean, not only, first of all, is it your personal property and they have no invested financial interest in it. So it is a violation of federal law for them to do that in the first place. They get away with it under the guise that they don't know, one, what's going on, like the higher courts, but that you have their plates on there. So they have an invested interest, but they're having a third party remove your vehicle, which by RICO makes them a part of it too. It's a fraud. You can't steal somebody's property. Yep.
Then if you have a lien on there,
you haven't been compensated for it. Mm-hmm. They have to do that, and they have no financial interest, so you can't do that. I mean, they get away with it because we ain't taking them to the proper courts to get paid for it. But that's what they do.
Yeah, if you have that UCC1 lien on it, also, man, if they take your property, pretty much they're pretty much taking trust property. So at that point, there's a lien and the fine that they will have to pay.
Send them a bill.
Yep, send them that bill. Take them to court. They'll settle out. They don't have to because a lot of them, or if they don't, you can just go up there and start red tagging stuff. Like, look, I'll take this for collateral, this collateral, like the building, the office, the pens, paper, all tow trucks, fence, gates, all the cars inside the damn fence. Like, dude, I went from one car to 20. Like, I got 20 cars now.
You could sue them for their charter and be on the board of the agencies such as like the sheriff and stuff like that. Or like in Florida, like the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, they have boards. You can sue them for their charter. Fuck the money. I want to be on the board, and they're gonna pay you. As a member of the board.
Fire.
That's an equitable remedy. See, I'm trying to step away from the monetary stuff. I'm gonna start putting my fee schedule. I'm suing you for your board. Going a corporate route on them.
Gotta get up on that board, huh? Get a little dividends and all that good shit.
Yep. Control.
Yep.
That's where it's at. Control.
Yep. Nariah R says, did he personally write that under his ID or have it distributed that way to the DMV? Well, that was just a method, but I've heard I've actually tried to because I know Taquan had got the international driver's license and he had done it through the little website or what have you. So I went to the website and I basically applied. So I get a call back. It was like $175. I'm like, all right, cool. So I applied and I signed, properly UTC 1308. And then I got a call back like an hour later. And the lady was like, yeah, we have your application here. We need your you can't, well, she said you can't sign your name like that. She goes, what you mean I can't sign my name like that? Well, you can't write that above your name. I said, also, we need your driver's license number. I said, just send me back my money. No problem. I got my refund within the next 20 minutes. No, thank you.
Yeah, the most DMVs they haven't all caught on yet that you can sign it when you're on your application, but some of them have. So they've been starting to not let people do that, the ones that already know about it. So it ain't universal. So if you can, you definitely want to put that on there, get it updated, renew it. If that's how you're moving, if you're a driver, then that's how you get down.
Yep. Yeah. Micro print and learn how to write very small.
Yep. Micro print.
And then also how they getting around it too. They making everybody do electric signatures. So
I don't
you
like
would
that
just
electric
have to type
signature
your name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like that at all. I always say, no, I need a paper copy. I don't even use I don't even use QR codes when I go to restaurants. F that. Like, yo, give me the paper menu or start reading it off for me. All right.
Stay
What?
old school.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't need the freaking my phone and the goddamn everybody know where the fuck I'm eating at. Hell no. F that, man. I ain't with that. Crazy.
Hey, an old dog don't need new tricks. It done survived all this time, you know, and they trying to trick everybody into this new world and stuff. I saw where I was just reading the Florida statutes, seeing what they have that's new, where I think at the end of this year, and I know for sure next year in the first quarter, they're going to require everyone here to have digital driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
No more physical. It's all digital. It's in the statutes right now.
That's
Crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, if you don't get the digital license, like, they can still pull your information up.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be on your tag. Your status, like saying, let's say you have a license, it'll kind of be like a QR code where the cops can just scan it, right? And on there, if your license is suspended, they'll just have it right there. And that gives them reason, even if you're not, driving, quote unquote, gives them reason to stop the vehicle and encumber you. So it's gonna look crazy out here,
Oh,
I'm going to Malaysia.
I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you, bro.
I'm gonna ride an elephant to the 7-Elevens out there,
And the Ryan R says that without recourse and UCC. Well, without recourse is basically what you write on a negotiable instrument when you're sending it in. You write that on a negotiable instrument because what that basically means is it can't come back after you for like a fee or something of that nature. Without prejudice, basically, it grasps all your rights. So it's acceptance of contract acceptance of performance of contract under the preservation of rights, but without prejudice and without recourse is basically, take this instrument and don't come after me for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Even a quasi contract has no standing, especially if there's implied slavery. Yep, such as peonage. Yeah, this is exactly why when you ask the judge, you ask him, it's been brought to my attention that I have the right to know the nature of the charges brought against me. Could you please tell me if this proceeding is criminal or civil in nature?
Civil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then they'll try not to have to answer the following questions, but a lot of times they'll say, it's a traffic citation. You basically say, well, which what jurisdiction does that fall under? Is that civil or criminal? Basically, you got to keep pressing them into a corner. Then when you finally get them in that corner, they say, all right, well, it's criminal. You'd be like, all right, as far as my knowledge of the Constitution goes, there's only two different jurisdictions that can be in a criminal. It can be either Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction or a common law. So could you please tell me what kind of court we're in? That's when they start changing the subject for you, because they're not going to tell you that it's implied it's slavery. They're not going to tell you that because they told you it was Admiralty. First off, they would be missing.
They gonna get in
Second
trouble.
off, they would completely lose every goddamn thing. Not only would that be fraud, every case of the sort in history that you're dealing with along yours, and even ones that aren't even like yours, would all be ruled as fraud if they actually came out and admitted that. A lot of people will go to jail, so that won't happen.
Well, that's supposedly what David Wynn Miller did when he quantum syntaxed all these documents. He basically made all contracts null and void because they weren't following the proper quantum syntax grammar for the structure in putting those contracts together when using the English language. So that
know what? I'm gonna go to the Supreme Court this week. That's what I'm gonna do for people. I'm gonna go to the Supreme Court this week and have it. The case I had with the child support thing about when they said no entity has standing in a child support proceeding or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and ask the Supreme Court, was the lower district court correct in that? See if they try to reverse it or something and try to establish it as case law. I'm gonna do that this week.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Nice. All right, Kenzo says, I'd like to ask if anyone has a claim against me or if anyone knows me. Yeah, yep. Does anyone here have a claim against me? Oh, well, I think the judge will say, I think the state of Maryland does. Okay, cool. I'd like to call the state of Maryland up to for questioning. Like that's when you see you hear a lot of this. Start hearing a lot of papers. Briefcases closing.
District Attorney Dickhead here, Your Honor, for the state of Maryland.
Yes, he represents the state. Okay, that's great. Present your claim against me. But wait, before that, so the information you're presented doesn't come from you, right? You got it from the officer or wherever. Well, that's all hearsay. That's not admissible in court. So you're trying to basically create a fraudulent situation because you don't have firsthand knowledge, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Can we do a continuance? Out of here.
What's that? I got to check something on the back real quick.
Yeah, Yusuf El said the first thing you want to do is basically say, I think I might be in the wrong court. You give him plausible deniability. You know what I mean? That way, like, you are in the wrong court, sir. You actually belong 3 rooms up, and I know the judge. He does this all the time. Let me go ahead and just dismiss it. I'm going to reschedule it for this date, and you fuck around, leave, and never hear nothing back from him again. He was saying, give him that plausible deniability. Tell him, you think you might be in the wrong court.
Right. Shit, with any case, especially if it's criminal, man, I get mad as hell when people go in there and argue. Go in there and just tell them for the record, hey, Your Honor, I would like this question directed to the opposing party. Hey, opposing party, can you prove your case today? Because I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm going to elect to plead the fifth here and exercise that right. But I just want to know, can you prove your case? And the judge is going to say, well, this isn't the time. We haven't had an evidentiary here. Okay, well, I'll plead the fifth for the remainder of the proceedings, from this day forward. And just shut the fuck up. Excuse my language, but just be quiet. Mm-hmm. They need you to be a witness against yourself. Mm-hmm. If you just be quiet. Remember the dude, what's that dude's name that had he bought the Wu-Tang Clan's thing?
Yeah, David Martin Shkreli.
Smart guy. Everybody hates him. Smart. Go watch his court proceedings. Every question that Congress had asked him, because he was in a congressional hearing, a real court, every question that Congress asked him, he just pled the fifth on. Is your birthday such and such date? I plead the fifth. I respectfully decline to answer your questions. And I assert my Fifth Amendment right. Something like that, he said. And that's all he said. He ain't in jail.
It's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing, for real.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
But they don't have evidence other than your testimony, especially if they don't have a witness.
Right.
If they don't have a witness, just be quiet. You'll win. But deny all the evidence, the quote unquote evidence. Deny evidence. That's all. The only thing you got to do is just deny evidence and you'll win.
Fire. It says, usually so far the 2 times I did it, I got crickets. Then ask the judge to dismiss for no corpus delicti. That's a great strategy. It says, so I'd like to know if anyone here has a claim against me or if anyone knows me personally. Crickets. Motion to dismiss for no corpus delicti. Sweet that.
I'm gonna write that down.
That's fire. Like, it's clean and cut. Clean and cut. In general, World Boss 759 says, in general, have any one of you ever sued for monetarily damages, such as punitive damages or actual damages for violation of your rights? I'd like to hear each of you process. I have not yet had to.
No, I haven't. I got something in the works, but I don't want to discuss all that right now. But I'll be bringing some videos with that coming soon.
Shit, I have. Mine is right there on the Secretary of State website, underneath judgment liens against the state of Florida. I think it was for like $500,000, and I had to go to federal court for that. And I got a judgment lien.
Fire. Yeah, I wish Kevin was in here. I don't know. I haven't heard of Kevin in a while.
Yeah.
Hope he's
God
doing
bless
all right.
his soul. Bless his soul.
Yeah. I hope Hope my man doing all right. My man out there fighting a good fight. Say no to cryptocurrency. Say no to electric cars.
What?
Hey, I'm winning with the electric cars, but the crypto thing that's a 50-50 to me. I'm here or there with it, you know. I get it though. I get it, but you know. Nariah R says tort claim. Yes, tort claim is the way.
Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, if you know the devil's coming, you might as well get a good seat. And so if you're going to try to play if you're going to be moving forward, you might as well dine with the devil, because the cash money is going bye-bye. That's just it. Period. The F out. It is gone. It is going. It's only a matter of time. So you can either get on the ground floor or get ran over.
They announced it April 4th. They already announced it. With that, man, everybody should be focused on getting assets. That's how the world always operated. I don't care what currency it comes out with. Just be in a position of being a merchant, you know, be in a position of leveraging your assets, you know, versus working for a cryptocurrency. Just be in a position. I accept the Japanese yen. I accept gold and silver. Hell, if the coffee is good, I might accept a cup of coffee. Barter and trade, you know. But yeah, just get in the position of having an asset, and you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, what currency is coming out or anything like that. People still in the world still trade herbs, and they trade services, they trade seashells still on this planet. You know, expand your palette.
I second that. You know what? You already know what I say, man. Gold and silver. You're gonna always be able to use gold and silver, no matter what cryptocurrency hits or whatever.
Man,
gold and silver is gonna be worth.
I take it all. I've had people ask, do you take Ethereum? Do you take Bitcoin? Do you take gold stock? Yep, send it all.
Right.
I take it.
Yep. Yep, send it on over.
The Rise says, much rather the passport method and just travel. Traveling is better than driving in the Matrix. So I'm with that. Appreciate the clarity, fellas. Yes, sir. Just make sure you know your shit, because you will be tested.
Yeah, you can, like we talked about before, you can do right to travel. You can go to the DOT and get one of their plates that way, license and number or whatever. You know, international driver permit. There's lots of options. You just got to figure out what you want to do. But I personally like the right to travel. Constitution already, you know, backs it up. Supreme Court already backs it up. So I'm good.
There you go. No, Gilliard says, peace family. Got my conveyance stolen by a tow truck late at night. My SUV is private. Made a police report, but they can't track it. It's not in the system. Any ideas on better protection for private SUV? I'm assuming you probably left it parked somewhere. You're saying someone stole it. I'm assuming it's not a repo. I'm assuming you probably parked it somewhere it wasn't supposed to be parked. That's tricky, because if you have a situation where property is like, let's say in the trust or something like that, you know, the tow truck company could be made, I suppose, like the trustee or such of basically maintaining or caretaking the property. So you gotta be very careful. Now, I don't know what the circumstance is with what happened to you, but it sounds like your property got taken because it was parked somewhere, you know?
Yeah. If you contact the city, usually they've got a top, you know, tow truck company that they usually work with in that area. So, or if not that, then wherever it was parked, contact the store owner and ask them what tow truck company that they have an agreement with. Because if it was parked somewhere on the city should know who's the main couple of ones in that area. You know, you're not going to get a tow truck company from 50 miles out. There's only going to be, you know, 5 or 6 in that area for the most part. But if it was parked at some, you know, apartment building wrong, they have to have an agreement with somebody to come get that stuff. They can't just go onto private property and say, "Oh, I'm going to tow this for this guy." And so that's what I would suggest, starting something like that, or shoot, get yourself a GPS for your car. Know where it all is.
Call a sheriff or the police. Call the sheriff. They'll have it. They have to make a report to the all tow trucks companies. They have to make a report to the sheriff department. Call them. Tell them that your car has been stolen, or you don't know where your car is and you're afraid it might have been towed. They'll tell you exactly where it is. Then, like Matt will just say, get you a little GPS for your car for future references. And if it ever happens in the future, shit. I'm wild. I done climbed over the gate and crunked my shit up and told them to open the gate. I ain't getting out. This is my property.
Yep.
It's on your property illegally. I don't know who put it here, but it's mine. I'm taking it out of here. I ain't paying you a goddamn thing. Matter of fact, you gonna pay me for having my property. Is
Yep.
this a public company? Okay. Is this private lands? All right. Well, this is a private car, and the same rights you have, I do too. You can't encumber. Your rights can't trump mine. We're equal.
Nope.
What you want to do? Because I ain't leaving.
Facts.
No, they can't own your property for a corporate fine that they've put on. Think about it. All those things are corporate. That's in the corporation within the United States. They can't say that we own. That'd be like me saying, "Oh, I'm going to own the federal building because they did something against me," and I just tell them, "Well, I own it now for $1,000 that you guys owe me, and now I own the whole federal building or the courthouse."
Right.
You know what I mean? So if we can't do it, they can't do it. They do it in a bullying tactic, in which case you have to go after them in court and get paid for it. But yeah, it's your property. It's yours.
And,
that means
and they're supposed to notify the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're supposed to notify the owner.
And they lying about saying they can't find your car because cars get stolen from driveways with no license plates on them all the time. That shit happens all the time. So don't settle for that. Well, it's not registered, but they just don't want to fucking do nothing about it.
Well, they don't want to register. They don't want to help him probably because he has his own plates. But even the tow truck company put his stuff in there underneath whatever his plates say. They can search that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you should have a copy of your VIN somewhere, and that has to be entered in there too.
Facts.
I
agree. Yeah. These motherfuckers took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and they're not even upholding, maintaining people's shit from getting stolen from them. So
not especially when they consider you to be a sovereign, which we're not, but that's what they want to call it. So they're like, yeah, we can't help you, bud. If you would have had our stuff on there, we could help you.
How about that? We could have taken it from you.
Yeah.
What you said about give them plausible deniability, that's what you do. Keep your mouth shut, slide an official affidavit and say, let the record reflect everyone has received a copy and dip.
Yep.
Okay. So leave. Kevin, a millionaire now on a private island. Shit, boy. Slide me them tickets. You probably said Kevin a North Sentinel line.
That's funny as well.
Hey, yo, you fly a helicopter over North Sentinel Island. You see Kevin holding the sign that says, help, please. Foreign national.
Sign say UCC 1-308.
Hey, yo. I got that man. I got Kevin. Oh, man. Oh, shit. That man, Kevin. No, but yo, God bless Kevin, man. I hope you're doing your thing, man. I hope you see this show. Holla at us, boy. I know you still watch the videos. Yes, sir. He says it was in front of his house. What in the hell? You had private plates on there, or did you have no plates at all? That's interesting. I feel like I'm going to burn for laughing. Kevin's hey, he in the mix though, man, because he definitely went the distance. So we'll see what happens. He got to report to us for the end of the year. I know he will.
Yeah, he'll check in at some point.
Yep. I'll tell you what though, man, when you come in guns a-blazing with this kind of stuff, man, gung-ho and all that, depending on how tough your resolve is, man, you may or may not stick with it, But
Yeah, you got to see what a lot of people forget is that you have to be cocky on paper with it when you know where you're standing on your square. But when you first begin, you have to understand that this is all commerce and business. We always have to hold ourselves in, self-govern in a professional manner when doing this. Now, some of them may not, but that's on them. But see, that also then puts them into the into the negative aspect of things, which then you can go after them for not conducting business properly as a gentleman or gentlewoman. But you let them dishonor first. You don't dishonor. So when you come into it, guns blazing, they're going to trip you up. That was the first thing I said in my videos years back when you do this, is that if you don't conduct yourself proper, like, they'll just trip you up. If they don't trip you up, they'll trip up, your vehicle. Just, you'll trip up your grandma might suddenly have some extra property taxes. They might do a little check on your last filing statement with the IRS. There's ways to play. These people all go and golf together and hang out and whatever else. They'll be like, hey, I want you to go take care of my man's, this is what he done did. They play. It ain't nothing, same thing that most of us would do if we had them resources, and they're gonna do that. Not all of them do, but best believe some of them do. So you just gotta be cool, handle your business affairs, in the right context. Otherwise, yeah, they'll hem you up. All they got to do is make the accusation, put something on you, and then now you got to figure out how to maneuver, which usually is just jumping over them to the highest court, and take them down a peg or two and make some money off of it at the same time. But in general, you got to be cool when doing business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 100%.
My man said it was in front of my house. That might not have been a tow truck, bro. That might have been Lil Daquan down the road.
Yeah. I done seen some cats buying tow trucks and jaying people's stuff, because no one's gonna suspect the tow truck ain't supposed to be doing what it's doing.
Exactly. Yeah, that might have been. Or shit, somebody might have been up in there Grand Theft Auto in that joint, but
yeah,
it's possible, man.
Call the police.
The police. Tony Cooper. Tony.
Tony.
Tony's a wild boy. Oh man, yes sir. All right, man. So absolutely, I agree 1,000% with that, man. Please be careful where you're leaving your whip at. If you got the my man said the chop shop parts. That's heartbreaking right there, bro. To know that your engine is going in someone else's car, bro. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, keep a GPS on your stuff. Make sure you got your insurance on it. Because people out here jacking.
Yeah, they out getting busy.
They like your car. They'll put in one of them. What do they call them? The little Apple AirPods or something like that, where they can track them.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you'll get home and you park your stuff outside, and you go to your fridge and you hear chook chook, and your stuff is gone.
They out here stealing catalytic converters.
Oh, listen, bro, that's a big hustle, man. That what is that stuff that's in the catalytic converters? They got platinum in some of them, and rhodium. Is it rhodium?
Yeah,
rhodium.
No, it's not a game out here with those, man. They literally are jacking them joints.
I seen a cat do it in front of me. My neighbor's about I live on the edge of like a fielded area, so I can only have like maybe 3 neighbors I can kind of see, and I could see her truck parked on the behind her house is on the grass area to the field. And this cat pulls up, with like a Hispanic cat in a silver car, pulls up, parks next to her. But there's an apartment building there. So I was like, oh, maybe someone else is just parking there, whatever else. And I heard for like 3 seconds. And then I heard, and I was like,
hey, yo, that fast. Yo, damn.
Because he had a one of those sawzalls that cut metal, and that truck, the pipes had rusted, so it wasn't much to even go through. Yeah. So I called her and I was like, yeah, I think they got your catalytic converter. And she was like, no, they didn't. I just parked out there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's gone.
Their converter's history, bro. Like
Yeah.
they get like, depending on what kind of model it is, you might be able to get like $250 per converter. Like if you got Benz converters, yo, them joints is like $200 a pop, $250.
Yeah, if it's a truck or an SUV, they got the bigger one, so there's more in there. They don't usually they'll do cars, but they're lower and hard to get. So if you got an SUV or a truck, you better be
coming off of there. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Facts. It's a sad world.
Yeah, hell yeah. I remember back in when the recession hit back in 2008. Yo, let me tell you something, yo. We came outside, yo, literally, and like every car in the lot had no converter on. It was the craziest shit ever. Like, you know, you look underneath the cars and there's like all the exhaust is hanging down on all of them. We was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. And it just makes me wonder, like, dude, you know how these dudes really had to have had like a sting operation where it was like 4 of them just getting busy. Because like easily it was over 20 cars in the lot, and most of the converters was missing. I think there was like 2 of them they didn't get, and one of them was cut like somebody came or something like that. One of them was cut like let me hurry and just get the fuck out of here if somebody coming shit. But yo, all up and down the road, man, automotive shops, random car lots and stuff like that, converters was missing.
Yeah, I was saying
companies paying people
in the Midwest, boy. Let me tell you, they hit the car lots for their converters, and they were getting the rims and leaving the vehicles either on the rims or on blocks. Just whap whap whap.
Insane, man.
Companies out here paying people to do that shit.
I mean, come on. You know that the places that take them in, you can tell that converter did not rust off.
Yeah,
right. clear and clean cut.
Yeah,
they know what's going on. They're a part of it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't convince me.
Like, oh, this is your 82nd catalytic converter you've brought in. Like, bro, you're not even supposed to sell more than what is it, 7 or 10 cars?
I think it's like 8 or something like that. Is the
yeah.
limit. Then you gotta supply a driver's license when you
right. So how have you had that many converters? You just found a whole stack of them?
Yeah, I mean, shit. Fuck around, create a fake ID and submit them shit for real. I mean, that shit. Criminals will get it. This is the problem I have with these stupid ass laws and shit. Like these criminals are gonna get around that shit, regardless of what law you put in. If they want your converters, they're gonna get the converters.
Well, their laws aren't for criminals; they're for us.
Exactly.
That's why we don't do it.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the ones making the laws are the ones who are acting above the law. We're supposed to do as I say, not as I do, and then the criminals don't give no F's anyway. They're like, that's cute.
Like the funniest thing to me is the gun laws, like the gun control and shit. Like, bro, I literally heard somebody say about the New York subway shooter online. He was like, yeah, the reason why the shooting happened is because Pennsylvania is right near New York and they got some stupid ass gun law. I'm like, you are an asshole. Like, you literally are doing mental gym. Like, New York has one of the most strictest, you know what I mean, gun laws in the city. And if that shit still happens, that just goes to show you that motherfucker people don't give a fuck about it. Now, we all know what time that shit was on, but it's just people's logic to me is the hilarious part, because not so much what happened or what didn't happen, but people's reaction to it. Like, we need more gun control. Like, why? Why?
They wouldn't pull that off in Texas.
Hell no. And they know that.
Yep.
Yeah, Florida either. Shit.
Yeah, we blazing. I just went to the range today. Yes, sir.
I gotta get down to Florida range, man.
Chitty bang bang.
Yes, sir.
I've been to a Texas range. I need to get down to a range in Florida though.
Got a new Turkish bull pup. Yes, sir.
Fire. Fire. Don't say that. A man said, hold on, behind the comments. Insure under house goods. Yes, sir. UCC 9 dash, what is it? UCC 9 dash 109.
109, yep.
Yeah. He right.
Yes, sir. Secret to success.
It's definitely a mindset when conducting business. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sir.
Next door neighbor said it was a tow truck.
Yeah. Like I
Forgive
said,
me for asking, but it wasn't a repo truck, was it? I'm not being a dick. I'm just literally asking.
Yeah. Now, like I said,
call the sheriff. They'll tell you.
like I said, cats in the Midwest, man, they were like hood mom were buying tow trucks to steal cars, like the Fast and the Furious. Like it was a tow truck, but it was a hood brother just G'ing cars. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Get
that's
busy.
it's hard to say if you got or you got.
I mean, like you said, if somebody see a tow truck towing a car, it's like nobody questions what's going on because it looks normal.
They're like, oh, he didn't pay his bill. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then they got I seen the dude get pulled right out of the goddamn gas station parking lot. Like, dude, car was out. He went in to get some coffee or something. Pulled around like, wow. Put the wheels underneath that joint, took off. It literally had been like a 5 second. He had been following him. As soon as he got out the whip to go in the joint, that joint spun around, put the arms underneath that joint, and was out. I was like, yo, his car is going after. He came out like, yo, what the fuck? He was mad as shit. Not a game out here. What Bad Wolf said about them trying to trip you up if they try the wrong person, that could backfire. They know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's just say there's some Supreme Court opinions, aka rulings, that let me say this delicately. You have the right to protect yourself if you are in the private. However, conduct yourself carefully because they will try to paint you as being the S word, we'll just say. And so use it gingerly.
Or the DT.
Yes.
DT words. Yep. There wasn't a Prius safe. I hate those cars. They take them for the precious metals in them. Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's a crackhead hustle. They took my side view mirrors in the Bronx. God damn. They took your side view mirrors though. God damn, bro. It's grimy out there. See, I heard in New York they be taking the whole whip. They like the car cap. What is it? The car theft capital in the nation, right? In New York, man, you don't want to leave nothing parked. I won't even take no whip out in New York. Hell with that.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can get around out there with the way that is.
Yeah, I really just get on
the car and be stuck in traffic for 4 hours.
Yeah, right. Listen, though, that traffic ain't no joke out there, bro. I mean, we went to the Puerto Rican Day Parade in 2008. Listen, man, and they had hella roads was closed off and stuff like that. That traffic was non-moving at all. Like, you might as well go and put your joint in the park and go eat something. So like, you ain't going nowhere, bro. I highly recommend the Puerto Rican Day Parade though. My bachelor's out there. Cass Luciano, I don't know if that New York shooting was real, but the Sacramento one was. I didn't hear about no Sacramento one.
Yeah, when that happened.
Remember that movie called The Crazies? I haven't seen that. Earth Angel. Did anyone else get a new passport recently? Mine look really different. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I told everybody that was coming way before that happened.
Yeah,
made a video on that, and it's like, yeah, they switching it up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Y'all making me paranoid. Network cams going up on the property. Hey, it's not a game out here, bro.
Man, let me tell you, so many people used to message me. They'd be like, "Wolf, why you got them cameras, in your background when you're doing your?" Because I want everybody to know you come stepping through. And it's chitty bang bang time. Time to let the nuts swing.
Oh God.
My new passport starts with an AO now. It looks very similar to my Nigerian passport. Starts with an AO. That's weird.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to another national. He said his started with a Q. I wonder what the letters mean, but it's not one of them newer ones, though. I don't think. The newer ones looks like a card on the main sheet. Yes, sir. But yeah, as far as that goes, I agree 100% with the consultant, man. Or in Bad Wolf, put a chip on your stuff, or like Tony said, you can get it added as household goods. I think we caught up. Yes, sir. What's been up, man? What you been studying on, consultant? What's up? You hear me?
TC, you on?
He must not be on. What about you, Bad Wolf?
Well, we did the SS5 form. That was the last thing I was really working on. People are gobbling that up. That's a huge thing right there. Some people are asking me what all the ins and outs of it are. I'm like, hey, y'all caught up to where I'm at now with this, because this is brand new. You know, like nobody knows what all the, you know, goodies are with this, because we've never done it. We have never literally done this. I haven't seen nobody else talking about it or having done it. So, you know, we gonna see. You know, we know what the principles are,
right?
But as far as more than that, we don't know. Other than that, just working on my. I'm making a new filming location, so basically turning my basement into the Bat Cave. I'm gonna be filming from there. Made a little library, trying to get that so I have everything in one spot instead of books just all over my room and everything, or office area or whatever. Just more studying. Got like I said, got the first Black Laws Dictionary. Not too long ago, got the 11th, the expanded version. Other than that, nothing major else has come up really. Yeah. Just reading. Just like you got the book, the Art of the Passing the Buck. Just kind of lightly started that one. I did. Where's that? Kind of in lieu of what you were talking about, this is another good read right here. Hold on, so I get the light out of it.
Maine lawsuit against the IRS.
Yeah. So Maine filed a lawsuit against the IRS for unfair trade practices. And this is also co-written by David E. Robinson and F. William Messier, Messier. And it has got a lot of, I mean, like just starting off, it has all the plaintiffs, or the plaintiff, and then all the defendants. They got T-Mobile, U.S. Cellular.
Damn.
All these cats. It's like just everything. And they basically went after them for unlicensed practice, failure to disclose material facts, misrepresentation of terms and conditions, false or misleading advertising, exploitation of vulnerable individuals, failure to refund funds, deprivation of remedies under color of law is what they went after them for. And okay, so then they use some cases, some Supreme Court opinions. One is an individual may be under no obligation to do a particular thing, and his failure to act creates no liability. But if he voluntarily attempts to act and to do a particular thing, he comes under the implied obligation in respect to the manner in which it does. So that tells you right there, they already ruled. That's Guardian T&D Company versus Fisher, 1906, 26 SCT 186188. So they're basically saying if you don't have an agreement to do something, they can't force you to do something.
Yep.
But if you start to be underneath their jurisdiction, then you are so.
Fire.
So
yeah, get my hands on that.
This book is fire. Like if anybody wants to understand what's going on with between the Internal Revenue Bureau, which is different than the Internal Revenue Service, or you have unpaid taxes, liens, they levied your property. This is gold right here. This is going to get you out of them situations. This is going to shut them up real quick, like, because it goes through all of it and breaks it down real nice. Like I just kind of finished reading it, and then they got some documents in the back. So I would highly suggest. So that's been one of the reads. What is this? What do I got? Well, I haven't read this one yet, but I got the United States Code.
Oh man, I wanted to get my hands on that.
Yeah, so it's 1 and 2. So I just picked that up. Those two bad boys.
Books on books. Let's go.
And I got about another 15 sitting behind me. I just haven't even got to it. I wanted to kind of finish up all of the main videos that I knew, that I learned, you know. So really where I'm at now is I'm caught up with all the basic stuff that I know on my channel. I mean, I made like 700 videos, so I'm caught up. Now I'm learning new stuff to put on the channel. So that's where my transition is coming at. So I just kind of took a little break to work on some house projects and, you know, whatever else. But yeah, so I'm caught up. Now everybody's caught up. So now most of these, I'm basically at the same spot where some of y'all at. I'm learning new stuff again.
Right. That's what's up, man. Good. Always good to hear that. Definitely. My man got the books. All right, where we at here? Tony says, I use that SS5 info waiting on the new SS card. And I'm going to tell you, man, straightening out your nationality via SS5 is powerful.
It's fire, bro. I've been telling people I think that's as powerful just about as the passport process itself.
Best believe it. I'm gonna take it a step further than that. Do that and then do a Freedom of Information Act on your DS11 form.
Yeah.
Which I'm waiting for my shit to come back now. They kept sending it back. Like I sent it once with a $50 money order, and they sent it back like, yeah, you gotta do this, this, and this too. And this is I ain't get it back for like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Did that, sent it back out the next week. You gotta do this, this, and this, and you gotta send us another $50. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I already sent y'all. I sent them another $50 money order. So I'm waiting.
Yeah. I just made a video on telling people that the new process for the passport is basically everything we've already done, but to do the SS5. I don't think it gets any more fire than that. Yeah. Do your SS5, do your authentication. I mean, we're the ones who brought that up first too. Like nobody knew those processes. I still got some old cats hitting me up going, oh, you know, you don't need to do that and this and that. I'm like, bro, I've seen the letters from the Department of State when you do the process wrong. You know what I mean? They send you the letter, the nasty letter. It says, by your birth data, you are in fact a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen and entitled to such, and we do not by law have the ability to make you anything other than what your data says, except your passport as a slave.
Right. Yep. Facts. Stuff starting to change, man. SS5 is fire, like you said, though.
That's fire.
All right, so Tim Sim says, Bad Wolf, with your explanatory, do we send all the documents you sent in PDF form?
Yeah, everything that comes with it should be sent. You obviously should make your own modifications to the written document, but the PDF are backup. If you feel that you don't need it, or it's not suited for your life or your lifestyle or experiences, then don't use them. You don't have to send them. I would, because when they go through processing, you're helping the people who are doing the processing, who are slaves, wake up, because they don't know what this information is. So, but that's a personal thing for you. So if you don't want to use it, don't use it.
100%. I agree with that. I'm about to start playing around with handwriting letters.
That is fire. I think we talked about this a while ago, but we do not have to use any of their documents, including the passport DS11. We can actually handwrite or create our own documents for that. They have to use it because they are so licensed by Congress, and they have to have all their T's crossed and I's dotted, but we don't have to do that.
Straight up. Darnell says, I own it. It's in a trust. Well, that's they took your trust property, man. You got to find out who took your trust property and hold them accountable. That's theft.
Yeah. You're gonna have to just call all the tow truck companies in the area and tell them a description of your vehicle, your VIN number, your plates that you had on it, and see why it got towed. I mean,
that's also another. And not to cut you off, Wolf, but this is also why I tell y'all, if y'all have that UCC1 already in place, it's good to put a unique identifier on your plate as well. Mm-hmm. So you can you can have that there, because if you got something generic on there, you know what I mean, it's going to be kind of a hard of an issue if you got to deal with something like this, even though it shouldn't be, because not a lot of whips don't even ride around with that shit on them. So, but yeah, you know, the one with the custom plate. How many cars did you pick up with custom plates? You know, but you know how it goes. Waiting for my certificate of live birth and going to file for the SS5. Yes, sir. I handwritten the affidavit of authority with bank notary. I guess I will find out in 2 weeks. And this dude right here, he gets busy.
Yeah.
He's so far into it with this paper. He don't play, man. He don't play at all. He be on his shit. He like one of the only cats I know with his shit authenticated from New York. Like nobody gets that.
Tony's fire. He be doing that work.
Yes, sir. He be putting them hours in, man. Y'all need to take some notes from Tony. Oh yeah, everybody. By the way, we got 41 people in here watching. Everybody, please hit the subscribe button, and everybody, if you aren't already subscribed, But if you haven't hit the like button, hit that also. Get the likes up so we can bump the algorithm, get more subscribers, and grow the family. What's the title? What title? What the? I think she's talking about the second book.
Yeah, I think we covered that. Or
will correcting your status on everything SS card specifically interfere with the ability to participate in banking?
Nope. Because they're open to the public. They have to allow everybody access by remedy to utilize those public services. Otherwise, they're in violation of the federal law.
Mm-hmm. Booyah. I just got Black's Law 10th edition, and it really clarifies equity. Nice, nice, nice. Kenzo says, how many social security numbers can I get from the one I didn't apply for myself?
If from their perspective, they're going to say that you've been issued one. So they're not going to give you another one. They would let you get a CPN, a credit protection number. But you're really not supposed to have more than one actual social as far as they're concerned, which I wouldn't even know why you'd want to use another social anyway. I would get a domestic or foreign EIN and talk that slave form, unless you do the SS5 and correct the status of it. But even still, I would get a foreign or domestic EIN.
I was just about to ask you that too. Like when you do the SS form correction, SS5 form correction, if they send you another one, because that would make sense if they send you a different one. Like, all right, well, this is the one you were given, but this is a separate one for you. Yeah. I know. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? The guy that always talks about the estate and the 98 number and stuff like that. It's on the tip of my tongue. Like he was basically saying, he was like, yeah, when you're 18, you're not even supposed to be using the Social Security number anymore. Mm-hmm. Social Security is from when you're born all the way, like benefits and privileges, school and all that stuff, up until you're 18, and then you're supposed to set up your own shit.
Once you reach the age of the majority, which is 18, and know the things that are contained thereof, you are supposed to notify them that you don't need them as trustees over you and your account, and transfer your estate items and assets into your own private trust. But we don't do these things because we don't know them. So with the SS5, you actually keep your old card. This is the mistake I made. I did send my old one in, but they don't require it. They will send it in and keep it because there's a value there. I don't really care about the value. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. But they will send you a brand new card with a new number on the back because it's a security. Anywhere your name is and your social is a access to your Sesticate trust, we'll just say. So you get a new card, same name, same number. And the guy told me when I called the HQ for them that it's all changed internally, and they can see, says they see it instantly when you do something. And if you do the process, they might be a little squirrely with you because they don't like what you're doing.
Did they ask you anything like, well, you're not a U.S. citizen? Did they try to ask you that?
Not me, but somebody who did do it. Actually, Kelly was saying that they were trying to give her a hard time when she physically went down there, and they were like, "Oh, well, what are you trying to claim?" Like, bro, why do they have an other box? Exactly. There's only so many types of a person that can get that card. So that just goes to show that people internally may not even know what's going on either.
They don't. A lot of them don't, man. I go as far as to say they start telling you shit when you start telling them, you're a foreign national. Well, you're actually you're a U.S. citizen. Are you giving me legal advice? No, I'm not giving you. Matter of fact, here you go. I'll just accept your paperwork, and that's gonna be it. You ask them that real quick, they straighten out. Does 3 stars mean you're a slave still? No, it doesn't. No. The stars, from what we believe, are just a threat level, which are only really known by the TSA and dockyards, federal buildings, that the cops don't know what they are. It means nothing to them whatsoever. And they don't at all mean your status. Your status is already encoded in there. So when they look at it, and I believe this happened to UA6, where they can look at it and they can tell that something has changed. And, as many of us have experienced, they treat you differently. So we know that it's like a threat level. And essentially,
it means that you're not going to probably be bothered when you have a 4 or a 5 on there. You looked at as a low risk, almost like a dignitary type person. But 3 typically just means that it means that you're caught in between. Like you may not have done your passport all the way, or for some reason, they still kind of consider you to, to be a threat. You haven't possibly informed them that you are or a low risk. Like with us in the explanatory statement, we declare on there that we are neutral parties. We are offering a treaty to the United States, and that we are basically non-threatening. So, but don't trip, because even when I got my first one, I had 3 stars on there, and I obviously know the process. So you can re-up and get a new one, you know what I mean, by certain means, but I wouldn't go out of your way. But if you did your application and you didn't specifically try to do it as the non-citizen national and you have 3 stars on there, then the stars don't mean that you got your status. The stars are on there because you can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star U.S. citizen or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star non-citizen national. So that doesn't indicate you got your status. It's only if you did the application and made your declarations the right way, then you get the proper status. Otherwise, in general, just having the card doesn't give you that status because you could be a U.S. citizen. So I wouldn't know without knowing further about the process. But so if you did it, if you feel you did it the right way, then you just happen to be one of those people who got the middle mark where you're still, as Yusuf El says, red zoned or redlined, and they haven't quite crossed you all the way over, but you have your status.
How long does that take? Because I keep hearing different stories. I heard 2 years from one guy. I heard a year from one guy. Somebody said 5 years.
No, nobody really knows for sure. We just know that it's there. I would have to assume it's probably up to a year would be my guess. I've been hearing that on average. Some people say it's 6 months, or some people have said it changes when you update your passport. So the next time you check in with them, if you haven't had anything major going on, they go, oh, well, he's been show with it, so let's bump him up.
Interesting stuff. And from what I heard, they're not even supposed to do that.
Well, there's a lot of things they ain't supposed to do.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You have to study, hit the books. Facts. Is the SS5 strictly online app? Online. You said that. I would just send mine in, honestly. I wouldn't even do no. I hate doing online paperwork.
Most of the online stuff is a trap so that you can't fill out the boxes and things a certain way. So
all zeros for zip codes and stuff like that. Yeah.
So like Six was saying, get your paper on.
Get your paper on, baby. Can you claim the CPN if you created it on the UCC one when you first filed? Questions for Bad Wolf.
Yeah, you can claim all that, just like you can claim your they won't like you putting the full number on there. So they're going, if you're going to do that, you have to block out some of the numbers because it is going into the public and they don't want to be held responsible for you credit fraud or theft or whatever else. So, but just like your estate, it's just a company. It's just a company number. You can claim all those numbers. I mean, it's ultimately still their property, but you're putting a lien against your authorized property. So yeah, you can do that.
There you go. Truth Seeker Alex says, is getting a foreign EIN require a trust or business name you can have under your name? You have to have so when you actually call in to get the foreign EIN, yes, you do have to have like a idea or name for a trust, because when you read the SS4 form, it actually says on there line for line what needs to be on the document so they can give you that 98 number. It's right on the form. Like, everything is right there. Pretty straightforward with that. Surfer Dude, you have a video on how to fill out that SS form.
Yep. Go to YouTube or Google how to fill out the SS form, literally SS5 or SS-5 form. And then my video should pull up. Or you can just go to my YouTube if you're not already on there. And it's literally one of the latest videos I've just made, so it's on there.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button too. And hit the like on his channel. Mine too, but yeah, his too. Bad Wolf, on your 98 instructions where it says grantor can be whoever but can't have a social security number, I can provide the name of a parent. They have social security numbers. Can you explain that? Private, you think?
Yeah, that's email me.
Yeah, email.
I don't want to throw my channel stuff on Sixes. We're here to support him, so appreciate it. But you know, if it's something me and him can answer, that's cool. But my stuff should stay over there. It's collaboration.
It wasn't so much that for me. It was more like I didn't know if you wanted to discuss something like that in the.
Well, yeah, just email me. We can email me that question. We'll take it from there.
Yep. Dylan Von Doom says, I was in the Marines and I made a declaration of my passport application. I had 4 stars on my card. Nice. 4-star club.
Yeah. So the 4 stars, when you're in the service, we've discovered that actually is because you are considered a less of a threat. So once again, because you are a part of their services, you are a trusted ally. And so the more trusted you are, the higher number of stars you'll have on there, which then equates to going through one of their checkpoints, you as being non-threatening. So I know we when we started the channel, we were talking about, the stars is your status, but it's a threat level. It indicates your threat risk level to them, because if you're foreign, the farther you are away from being a trusted ally, then you are more likely to get checked. So the more you're a safe party, the higher your stars are going to be. You're looked at as neutral or an ally or a dignitary. So, but yeah, because we've noticed that because people who weren't doing the process the same way we do it, they just did it normally. Some of them got 4, right out of the back, So, but once again, there's 2 different statuses. There's your U.S. citizen status, and then there's a non-citizen status. But each of them can have a star rating, or do have a star rating. So,
have you ever seen a passport with 1 or 2? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, usually those are people who come right from over another country. Like my ex-girlfriend was from the Philippines. She only had, I think, like 2 on there. And you can actually Google on Google passport with 1 star, passport with 2 stars, and you'll see that almost all of them are people from other countries who aren't U.S. citizens or are becoming one. It's usually people like that, because that's actually where I started to learn about the stars in the first place. I read hundreds of blogs and started putting all this information together, but it was almost always somebody foreign, because this guy was like, "Oh, I'm from Thailand, and I just got married, to my wife who's also from, Asia. And we noticed that I have 2 stars on mine and she has 1. So obviously they're not nationals, so that leaves them as citizens. And so, that helps to indicate that they're, because see, the whole thing is it's about being or being trusted. And if you're foreign, as far as they're concerned, you could be a possible threat. You're somebody to watch. Yeah. That's why with him in the military, they're like, we probably don't have to watch him or check him. He's probably cool.
Right. That makes sense. All right. Lost Rose says, sorry if that sounds confusing. No, we got it. I'm confused.
No, you're cool. Just email me. I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah, hit him up, man. Hit him up. No, we were talking about Yusuf L, not Yosef. Yusuf L. I've been studying every day since I became a member of the Bad Wolf tribe. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, Doom. And don't forget, guys, support A6 right here. So hit that bell, like, subscribe. And if you guys feel ever so generous, hit up his Cashapp down below.
Greatly appreciated. All the donations are welcome. They're put towards books so I can read and tell you guys what I've read.
Because, even a couple bucks, even it's only like $2, $5, because it helps to just cut the costs and helps us to do this, actively. Mm-hmm. And then we can bring y'all more stuff.
That's what I was saying. Like, the more you guys donate towards me, the more books I can buy, and the more I can read off to you guys. So you ain't got to buy the book. So, there's always that. Or you can just not, and I can just get it whenever I can. Up to you guys. Lost Rose says, thank you for letting me ask the question on your platform. Are you good, man? You good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're here for that, man. That's why we're here. If anybody in Texas read Article 17.03a, and go file your name as a corporation. Thank me later. Yeah, I was talking to the consultant about this a little while back. I tried to do this in Maryland, but Maryland, you can't do that here. So you can probably just mess around and do it somewhere else, I suppose. Yeah. Yep. That's the assumed name, doing business as.
Yeah, we okay, so I think we kind of grazed on this before. So with the passport, we've been waiting for people to get their special endorsement page stamped by them. Okay, I broke this on my channel, so I'll bring it to you guys on sixes if we didn't talk about it. So according to the FAM, which is the Foreign Affairs Manual, I think it's section 800 or something like that, or 808, which is that manual is nothing but an international book where it's open to the public in different countries so that they know how to deal with each other's countries in relation to passports and operations and procedures. So years back, I actually read most of this manual, and that's where I found some of the internal codes for, and by internal, I mean, they're not super secret, obviously, because they're published in a free manual that everybody can see, but you got to read to know, look, to think about, to even know to go there to find the stuff. So anyway, according to that, it says that we are supposed to print or type clearly our 2 codes. We have up to 2 codes we can print on our own special endorsement page.
Wow.
And those 2 codes are 08, which means the assumed name. If you put the code 08 on your special endorsement page, it means assumed name. It means that the name, which is in all capitalized letters on your passport, book, or card, your nom de guerre, which means war name or straw man name, is in fact assumed. It's not the real you. You were just using it. You're going by it. And the other code is 09, which means non-citizen national.
Fire.
So they're not, because remember, guys, you are the master of your vessel. And so you have to declare your vessel. And if you don't, then you're just a ship lost at sea. And I don't know about you guys, but if I seen $1 million yacht sitting on the coast somewhere with no name on it, no registration, I'm going to claim that bad boy. That's the same thing they're doing with your butt. So they can't define you or nor declare you. They can assume that they have jurisdiction, and if you don't fight it, then you're their property. But if you declare yourself properly, then that's what you're supposed to do.
All right. Bill Von Doom says, subscribe to A6 as well. Thank you so much for the subscription. Greatly appreciate it. William F. says, Kenzo, I think doing the UCC does that. Papering up with the American State National Assembly unincorporated does all that paperwork. So I've heard.
Yeah. And I have nothing personal. I mean, I'm actually part of them as well. I have always been. I get their newsletters and whatever else. The only thing I will say personally is that it's good to get their paperwork, but in all actuality, for me, so I'm not, hopefully I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but I want to be able to do everything myself. Not so much that I have to write up everything, but I am my own nation, and that's what your last name is, and we are a nation of nations. And I mean, I've even had Anna Von Reitz and her people contact me to get some of my paperwork and information. All right. So there's nothing wrong with sharing paperwork and all of us moving forward, but that's also underneath their or her nation. And if you choose that, that's fine. And because you also then have the power of, everybody there as a group. But in all actuality, you should be declaring your own nation and doing your own thing, because there's nothing there that they're doing that you can't do.
Right.
And if you're just always going to somebody else for permission and their paperwork, and you're not learning how to do it yourself, and you're not teaching your children or whoever, then what's the purpose of it? You're basically underneath one government, left one government to go underneath another government.
Facts.
Unincorporated or not.
So I said it better myself. You're right.
But if you need it to learn, then learn. All tools are good to learn. You might, whether it's good or bad, you're gonna learn. That's one thing. Yep. So use it. But I recommend everybody, taking and creating your own, because then you are truly free. Just like with NBA players or basketball players, are you really rich if somebody else is writing your checks?
Facts. Somebody owned your ass.
I'm just saying, if someone's handing you something, you're not free. Because if you're handing, it's like a wolf. If somebody's handing a wolf food, that means I'm in a zoo. If I'm going out and hunting my own food, I'm free.
Boom. He couldn't have put it better myself. Good looking out, Tony. I see you in there. Good looking out on that, man. Yes, sir. Man, look, hey, great information tonight, man. This is an extended conversation. This is the kind of stuff I know y'all like to hear about. You know, we talk about codes, rights, you know what I mean? How to basically get information from documents you read. All of that stuff is 100% gold, man. Glad you guys tuned in. Please, everybody, for y'all get out of here, please hit that like button for the video. Helps the algorithm, helps me out. Shout out to Bad Wolf. Go get on his channel, subscribe to him, hit the like button, go to Black Site 32 and buy some stuff. Buy some paperwork from the man. He's got some great stuff, affidavits, all that stuff. Tell him what you got, man.
Well, basically, it's for anybody who's looking to do status correction, looking to, deal with property taxes, paper affidavits for your status. There's discounts and deals. I got a little clothing line on there now. So, yeah, just basically check it out. And if you see something you need, cool. If not, like I said, between me and A6, we work together all the time. So, if I don't have it, he's got it. If he doesn't have it, I have it. And if we don't have it, we'll work on it. So just reach out to either one of us at any point in time and support, because with help from you guys, even if it's a couple of dollars or just sharing the videos or hitting the likes, it helps us to beat the trolls and the algorithms that, because they're not trying to promote our stuff for obvious reasons. So we need you guys to go and share the videos and to put that word of mouth in, because I'm not going to mention any names, but we can definitely tell when somebody surpasses me and A6 in subscribers, that the system is pushing them. So some people get pushed and we're not being pushed. So all of our stuff is organic.
Organic, baby. Grassroots.
So grassroots. And you guys are the wolves, out there in hunting in the grass. So, support us. We support you guys. That's how we do it. One nation helping another nation.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. I see you guys in the comment section real fast. Let me get to all you guys here. That's the best advice, Wolf. Do it yourself. Facts. I did the paperwork with Anna, and I did my passport and my own paperwork. I look at it as two ends, me in the middle. Okay.
Nice. All right.
If that's what you feel like comfortable with doing, go for it, man. I'm not knocking anybody. Phyllis Floyd, my man. I ain't seen this dude.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. We got to hop on Phyllis Floyd's channel too.
Yeah.
Special guest appearance or something. Yeah, Floyd, hit me up. Hit my email, man. We gotta collaborate, bro. Charles Davis says correct status stars on the left. If on the right you're a U.S. citizen, that is false. Kenzo says A6. I saw your battle raps, boy. You was a beast. I used to get busy in my 20s. Let me tell you something. I ate many an MC back in the day. You put an MC in front of me, give me that microphone, and put that beat on. He gonna meet his demise. I was a beast with it. Thank you for watching. I'll be hitting you guys up for paperwork this week. Thank you both. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Donations to A6, member of the bad. Well, thank you so much for the donation.
Appreciate you, brother.
So, yes, sir. A6, I'm in ball. Hit me up. Hit my email, man. Need to connect. The Nationals need to get together. I'm trying to have like a I'm probably gonna end up doing something where I get all the Nationals together and like I'm probably gonna do like a presentation or something like that. And if that kind of thing. We'll start off there, see how it works.
Yeah, I know a couple of us have been toying around with the idea of having a little powwow, for all of us, and just to talk and let other people listen, because we usually do ours off screen.
yeah, we do a lot of private. Yeah.
And then here and or there with the different, whatever. So we're trying to bring it all together, see how we can put something together. So we'll bring it to you guys. Don't worry about it. We got you.
I still want to do that foreign national retreat, bro. I still want to do that, yo. Like, that should be fire, like a retreat or something, Like I said, man, find your tribe and stick with it, man. I know who you're talking about. Well said. We all know who you're talking about, man. We talk about that all the time in the private. Like, ain't no this dude, you know what I mean? Get Telegram. Actually, yo, I'm glad you mentioned that. Hit my email. I do have a Telegram group. It's called the Foreign National News Network. You got to hit me up to get the link so I can include you. If y'all want to hop in that, please. We got 40 heads. I should be getting 40 requests for the Telegram. So download the Telegram app, hit my email, and I will send you the link so you guys can be a part of the conversation because I like to have different minds in there. Also, Bad Wolf has one too. He has one also. So join his too. Y'all look in the EWT. All right. Stars are on the top in the middle.
Yes, yeah, only on the card, though. The book doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, they took them out. Stars mean nothing. Stop saying it. He's always a misinformation agent out there. That'll be dope. So you think $1 billion corporation just going to put something on a card for no reason at all? I mean, it means something, but not what we were saying it does. I don't think it.
Yeah, we originally thought it was the status. So we can. I mean, I've corrected that since we discovered that that's not what it is. There's two separate things going on there. There's your true status, which is encoded, and the stars are a threat risk level. And Six, wasn't that you telling me that you went through the airport and the guy looked at your card after getting your increased star and said, "How did you get this?"
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Oh.
No, that wasn't me. I actually was looking to get a reaction, but I didn't really get any different of a reaction in that particular situation.
Oh, okay.
I have heard about somebody I've heard about somebody going to the airport, and they were saying that they had got to the front of the line, and then the dude took his, where you got to go through that giant metal detector. So he got to the line, and they check your credentials. So they saw his passport, and they looked at him and they said, you got to go sit down over there on the bench. So he said, well, I got all my stuff here. Like, just take all your stuff with you. Sit on that bench over there. So he was like, okay. So he goes to sit on the bench. So this lady comes over to him and says, sir, you got to go stand in that line. He says, well, that guy just told me to sit on the bench. And she was like, really? Let me see your information. So she looked at the information. Sir, I am so sorry, sir. I am so sorry. Please come with me. Walk right past the line, right past the metal detector, and he went right over to the terminal.
Yeah, so we now know that we were mistaken in the status aspect of that, but we've corrected that. But you also have to understand that we're working with information where they're not trying to give us this. So, but yeah, to basically back up what Kenzo was saying, I mean, from my perspective, this multi-trillion-dollar operation is not going. They're gonna not put anything on there that's going to cost them money. And we've already seen videos now where people are saying, I got my status corrected. I've gone through the airport and I didn't get checked, or, whatever else. Like I said, it doesn't indicate your status. It indicates your risk level to them, meaning if you have a 3, they're more likely to check you. You have a 50% chance of being checked. So, but hey, at the end of the day, believe what you want to believe. Just get your status corrected. Stars don't mean nothing to you, then they don't mean nothing. I'm not here to convince you. I just know better. I've seen enough. I've done thousands of hours in researching. Have you?
Yep. There you go. I'll be heading back to the Dominican next month. Oh, lucky. Damn, I want to go to Dominican Republic. I really want to go to Brazil. That's where I really want to go.
Yeah, Brazil will be fire.
Man, you're talking about relaxing, boy. Beautiful beaches over there.
Man.
Tony Cooper says, put it up. You missed the position of the stars on the card is critical for understanding. Charles, I don't agree with that. And I've looked at multiple passport cards, U.S. citizen and what we deem as a foreign national. And that is not the case. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or nothing, but that's false information. So if you can hit my email with some definitive, because I'll read it. If you got something in, I'll definitely look at it, But as far as I know, man, we've done the research. There's no difference. Passport book says citizen/national. Right. I've also heard you got a circle or underline, whichever one. That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, that's not in the book anymore. That was in the old books, and they don't have that in the new ones.
The ones with the card is the biometrics.
Just the actual paper book. It used to be a section in there where you could circle or underline your status in there.
It should still be there. The ones we have, it should still be. I think it's on the back of the cover, right? It should say citizen national.
It used to. I didn't see it on mine.
That's weird. Mine's definitely had it on there. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Now it's like I said. Now it's all about you putting it in the special endorsement page. That's what that part's for.
Okay. Much gratitude. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Silver gearing up for the greatest bull run of all time. Stars are probably to prevent fake ID, keep number of correct stars on record. If they don't match up, there's a problem.
It could be
That's an
part of the
interesting.
security process too. Like I said, nobody knows 100%, so nobody can say you're 100% wrong. Because when I called the Department of State and asked the lady straight out, she told me this. She goes, "This is." She's like, "I've never seen this before," and she goes, "It's saying national security." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to get you in any trouble, but can you click it or whatever else?" And it just says that this is part of national security. And so that tells you right there that it's not just it's nothing. They don't label the national security for no reason. And then I asked her, I was like, "Well, can you pull out yours if you have one?" She's like, "Yeah." And she pulled hers out. She says, "I have 3 on mine." And she didn't even know. And then she probably wasn't supposed to give me some additional information, including locations of certain things that were hidden. That's all I want to say. So there's a reason why I'm telling you people that
they're skip out. They don't want you talking about this shit.
Yeah.
As soon as you start talking about locations, they was like, too much.
So that's all I'm going to say. Is there's a reason I can't say everything I know on these channels, people. Yeah. I know you guys want all the info, but I'm not putting me or anybody else in trouble on something that was given to me in confidence. All I'm going to say is there's more to some of these things than you guys understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Nope. Just get your status corrected and keep watching Will Smith slap Chris Rock. That's all I can say.
Right. I travel frequently to ease my mind from the stress and drama. Still in my book. Yeah, mine's 2. Page 1 on mine also behind the cover. I noticed my book and card have 2 different numbers. The way the numbers written on the card is a bunch of gobbledygook, but it's actually decipherable. On the card, if you look right on.
I wonder if he got them at the same time or.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of. I'm not getting into that right now. It's just too much. I had to go get my damn passport, but I'm not doing that right now. We'll talk about that another day. That's a lot. My book is 2 years old. Citizen/National is still in book. Right. That's what I'm saying. The new ones I don't think have it on there anymore. Doesn't really matter what you file. State your nationality on the passport and challenge jurisdiction if there's a problem. If only it were that simple. Facts. Wolf CNN keeps me informed. Book always comes first. Yes, indeed. Card comes 1 week after. Yep, I was walking around like a dickhead with a giant book in my back pocket, like, yes.
Right.
Yo, what? Yo. I took that driver's license and threw it across the room. Like,
I was doing the same thing.
Put that shit in my back pocket, like, let's go.
Wait, did it start to bend because you had it in your pocket and then you flipped it around the other way?
Huh?
Was it starting to bow? Because
because your ass is contoured, so you gotta flip it around.
Yep. I did the same thing. Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, that was fire. I remember I took the I went to Houston, Texas last year, and I took the book with me instead of the card, just because I wanted to see what happened with the whole going through the airplane check security points and stuff. But yeah. Trying different stuff.
Yeah.
But let me wrap it up, man. This is we going into 3 hours. I gotta get ready to some meat. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go relax.
Feel that.
Yes, sir. It is the Foreign National Born Natural A6. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bad Wolf, I greatly appreciate you stepping up, man. Always a pleasure to have you, brother. Same bat time, same bat channel next week, and we'll be back at it like a crack at it. Meanwhile, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.